All right. What is going on? YouTube, what's going on, fellow fantasy people? And of course, what is up? The catch. Fam. Hope everyone is doing great today, man. A pretty crazy Sunday. Tuning in right as we start the stream. Looks like Alex Collins potentially scoring a touchdown versus the Steelers. Um, Lots to talk about today, guys. Lots to get into. So I hope everyone's doing great, man. Uh this was just another crazy week here in the 2021 NFL football season, man. So do apologize. I had to push the stream back a little bit tonight, but happy to get into it, man. Go and smash the like button to kick off the stream. Shout out to all of the Catch fam, man. Community growing day by day. It's crazy. So hope everyone's doing well, but let's hop right into some NFL Week 6 fantasy reaction. Of course, we will, have plenty of fantasy Q&A going tonight as well. So whatever you guys need moving into Week 7 or pertaining to Monday Night Football, we will go over as well. So let's hop right into it. Richard Glass, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Aaron Reborn, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. LeBron's brain, I regret my trade. Uh-oh. Good to see you, though. Hope you're doing well. James Zhao got the dub this week. Let's go. Good to see it. Love seeing the Catch fam getting some dubs. Aaron Reborn, what's your thought on Hunt's injury? Do you think I should trade him? Yeah, this is one of the topics of the night. We'll probably naturally just get to most of the topics. Man, a lot to go over from today, man. Um, when I last looked at it, it was a calf injury. I mean, the Browns in general, so many injuries today, so many injuries, right? Um, all right, so let me see what I can pull up here. Kareem Hunt did not hurt Achilles. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have a timetable, but it's looking like it was just a calf injury. But we won't know more until after the MRI. So, quite frankly, I probably wouldn't trade Kareem Hunt. I mean, I own him in the Catch Fam League, of course, right? And I have no plans on trading him or dropping him by any means. So let's hold off, right? We don't want to hit the panic button. We've got or we don't have enough information essentially, right? We want to wait until after the MRI to see what's going to be the final verdict with Kareem Hunt, right? Lots of injuries to that Browns team, right? Looks like Peoples Jones once again is relevant, but Baker, sustaining injury as well today. Not good, not good for the Browns' outlook overall. But we'll get more into it on the Night Aaron report. Chase Brown, should I drop Boyd? He is regressing. I don't know if I necessarily drop him, right? Um, there's a lot of targets to go around in that offense. And I think you can consider dropping him if you feel good about the other receivers on your team, right? And that has more to do with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase being the guys, right? I think Tyler Boyd is unfortunately the third option there. But don't forget that, I mean, just 3 weeks ago, he had 11 targets. Week before that, he had 6 targets. In week 2, he had 9 targets. Granted, there are plenty of injuries to those other receivers, right? And today wasn't that great of an outlook either. But I do think we'll see better days for Tyler Boyd overall. But Chase, if you are, seeing other receivers who are playing or performing a little bit better on the waiver wire, then you can consider that for sure. Real Goated, what's going on, brother? I just won again. I'm 2-4. Let's go. Let's go. Quite the turnaround. Real Goated. Love to see it, man. Told you. It's a long season, man. Plenty of time left. So great work, man. And keep it up. Keep it up. Aaron Reborn, because I still have the choice to get Keenan Allen and Hopkins for either James Robinson, Hunt, or Patterson, and I don't know. let's see, to get Keenan Allen or and Hopkins. I mean, if you can still do the trade, then yeah, it'll help you out right away, right? But I don't know if that same owner is going to necessarily want to still trade for Kareem Hunt. But if you have Robinson and Patterson, then I mean, you're losing depth down the stretch. But if you need the receivers, I mean, you're gaining much depth at the receiver position. So we can dig more into that. James Zell, time to sell D Hop. I don't quite think so. I don't quite think so, unless you're hurting at other positions. I mean, I know a lot of people are hurting right now, right? Lots of injuries to the running back position. So we probably will, have to consider selling some players high potentially, right? I mean, a lot of the guys who have stepped in, Alex Collins or Chris Carson, Khalil Herbert, right? One of my gut feelings that worked out. Uh, for David Montgomery, I should preface, had very good days today. So we'll see how the Browns bounce back from some of these injuries. Hopefully, Nick Chubb is back out there, right? But I know a lot of people are hurting right now. Is the point I'm trying to get at. So if it makes sense for you, then potentially, right? Potentially. Real goaded. I need Marvin Jones is going to have a good week. Yeah, I didn't dislike Marvin Jones this week, but I did feel like last night there were other players I was recommending over him, and he had a monster game. That was one of the biggest uh, takeaways I had from the day, quite honestly. Starting off the day was Marvin Jones going absolutely crazy today. And I did not realize that Brian Jones was not going to be playing in this game. So no Xavier Howard, no Brian Jones. If I had known that, I would have 1000% recommended Marvin Jones over probably just about any other matchup. But we had a lot of questions about Marvin Jones last night. There are players I chose, before him, and he had a fantastic day. So I certainly hope that others out there started Marvin Jones as well. Bronze Brain, I traded Taylor Chubb for CD McCaffrey, Gibson, and Hunt just gets injured. Definitely a little deflating, but I do believe that this injury might not be as bad as it looked, right? I mean, kind of similar to when CH got carted off or when David Montgomery got carted off. It's still bad, don't get me wrong. It definitely hurts your fantasy team, but um, at least it's not season injury or wow. At least it's not season ending, excuse me. So we'll see what the MRI looks like, and then we'll react to that within the week. Probably know by tomorrow, though, is the nice thing. Jerry, what's up, everyone? Good to see you, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. James, what's good, Jerry? There you go. Jerry getting the shout out. Mr. Sarcastic Waddle with the fire emoji. I benched Gibson for Waddle. Yeah, Waddle had a monster day. And I talked about this last night quite a bit too, as well. Um, said as long as two is playing, I'm a fan of Waddle. um, and he had a great day. The other dynamic there, I said if Tua starts, I'm a little bit concerned about Mike Gesicki, but I love this matchup too much to bench Mike Gesicki, right? And Mike Gesicki had a monster day. So, granted, it was against the Jaguars. Don't get me wrong, but um, overall, if you own Waddle, if you own Mike Gesicki, today was a good day. Now, another thing I did get wrong, right? Uh, Miles Gaskin had an awful day, right? Coming off the big performance, and he did not play well at all. But I mean, I did kind of preface that we are going to be wary of him moving forward. But I did also say that I really like this matchup, and it just didn't happen. Um, so that Dolphins game was quite interesting. Dolphin Jaguars game was quite interesting. But a lot to take away from that game. A lot to take away in general from today. So yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost my spot, guys. Chase Brown, should I drop Madison too? I have a lot of players on bye next week and need players. Might need to drop Madison and Boyd. That's probably fine. Looks like Dalvin Cook is fully healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hands down probably the best handcuff situation in the league outside of maybe Pollard and Zeke, right? It's right neck and neck there. Um, I don't know if, once you drop Madison, you kind of run the risk of not getting him back, right? But if you need to and it makes sense, then you might have to pull the trigger. Keenan Allen, Deontay, and Judy coming back. Okay, that's good. KB, Marvin Jones did really good this week. He absolutely balled out, man. Chase Brown, the CMC news sucks, dude. Uh-oh. I will preface, while I kept up with everything today for the most part, I took a little bit of a mental break today. So let me double check here in terms of Christian McCaffrey, if there's any update. Okay, so eligible to return in week 9. Okay, so that's still kind of you know, where I was at. I just want to make sure there's nothing new that came out, Chase. Joshua, Daryl Williams saved my life. I do need help with RB2. Stick with Javante Sanders or someone off waivers for week 7. I have J Rob and Saquon out. Daryl Williams played fantastic, which I was very happy to see because I know that a lot of people were relying on him. And I was a little worried, quite honestly, right? That was one of the waiver handcuff situations that I was not as big of a fan of. And he played fantastic. So kudos to all you guys who started him. Um, 2 touchdowns on the day, right? He played fantastic, guys. And that's very encouraging for those of you who did end up with him from waivers. Devontae Booker, right, of the Giants, did not play so great, but a tougher matchup, right? And he's got another tough matchup next week, so we'll see what happens there. Joshua, in terms of waiver wire potential pickups, maybe Alex Collins is still hanging around there. Um, it's a little tough at the RB position right now. We're going to probably have to look at guys who I was about to say on the Ravens, but we'll come back to that. We'll probably have to look at maybe Kenyon Drake is hanging around, coming off a big performance, right? Maybe this is, maybe we'll see a little bit more involvement out of Kenyon Drake, although Josh Jacobs had a great day as well. But we probably are going to have to keep an eye on the Browns running backs. And I like Evans out of Cincinnati, who had himself quite a day as well. Really made up for he didn't do a whole lot in the run game, but he made up for it in the passing game as well. So he might be a good play next week. They've got Baltimore, should be a high shooting game between the 2 divisional opponents. Um, Elijah Penny on the Giants took away some work from Booker. So we'll definitely have the waiver wire video out tomorrow as well. So make sure you tune in for that, Joshua, as we'll get a little bit more nitty gritty, but we'll continue to evaluate those running backs as well. Marky Mark, what's up, guys? Have a great stream tonight. Appreciate that, Mark. Thanks for coming out, giving the stream a shout. Appreciate you as always, my guy. Hope you had a great Sunday, man. Sorry, guys. I am not necessarily under the weather, but just dealing with wife and I went to a pumpkin patch today, and I'm super congested after being outside all day. Little cold today, guys. Crazy. All right. LeBron's brain. When at earliest are we thinking CMAC is going to come back? I believe week 9 is the earliest from what we've looked into. Spencer Stern, John, congrats on the dub this week. I appreciate the kind words, man, but I don't think our matchup is quite over. Uh, Listen, the Seahawks are one of the worst teams in the entire National Football League against opposing running backs, and I won't be surprised if Najee Harris has like 35 points by the end of tonight. So I will have a little bit of a hole to climb back from with Josh Allen and Emmanuel Sanders. So it's not quite over, Spencer. And I always wish good fortune on both sides of things. So we'll see what happens, man. And if it leans your way, then congrats to you. If it leans my way, well, I'm sure we will see each other at some point again, right? Chase Brown. Next week, I'm forced to start Judy and Boyd as my wide receiver and wide receiver 2. I have Josh Allen, Keenan Allen, Deontay Zeke on bye. Need a backup QB right now. Wow. Um, oh, it's a little tough between Judy and Boyd, but there are options, right? Maybe Jonathan Peoples Jones out of Cleveland. There's options. In terms of backup quarterback, um, let me see what the outlook's looking like just off the top of my head. But let's see here. Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz might be available, at least get you enough points to win. Derek Carr versus the Eagles. Let's see who Wentz has got next week. Got San Francisco. It's not a bad matchup. Tua Tagovailoa might be out there, man. He's got Atlanta. That's a pretty stream right there, man. Good performance today, 21 points. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence might be floating around. Oh, no, he's on bye week, and he didn't really. Yeah. How did Mac Jones do today? Not good. Okay. Sammy D, not a great day. He's got the Giants next week, though. I kind of like Tua. Kind of like Tua next week, man. Let's see. We'll get more into it, Chase, as the night goes on. Philly Mike, hey, what's going on, brother? I had J Herb and M Will on trade block before today's game. I never pulled the trigger. Nobody else pulled the trigger on them. Is it safe to say the Chargers are what we thought, or was today a fluke? I would say today was a bit of a fluke. I look for them to come back in pretty high fashion. Jerry, I was surprised to see how well my team did today. There you go, Jerry. Marky Mark, nah, not really, but thanks. I will probably be back on tomorrow. Get those W's. Okay, Mark. Sorry to hear you did not have too great of a day, but uh, hopefully we will see you tomorrow, and all positive vibes your way, my guy. Let's see here. Philly Mike, Carson Wentz. Yeah, I think Carson would be a good backup as well. Spencer Stern, I'm hoping Josh Allen throws only to Knox this week. The 24.5 out of him in Bass will not allowing Allen to score 20 plus. Yeah, our matchup will be pretty close, but it'll be fun to watch tomorrow, man. Regardless, I'll probably be biting my nails, feel like. And I do believe that, like I said, Najee Harris might have another 15 or 20 points before tonight's over. So we'll see what happens. Chase Brown, want me to send you my team and who I have starting next week? Sure, absolutely. Marky Mark, who? I don't know who. Sorry, I think I missed that one, Mark. Philly Mike, any word on Damian Williams returning next week, or is Khalil Herbert another go? I think even if Williams comes back, Khalil Herbert is probably the guy, right? And this might even be concerning for David Montgomery moving forward. I think we're going to see a lot more of Khalil Herbert in the mix. I think it's good news if you do own Khalil Herbert, right? And I've got him in mine in Steven's personal league, and I started him today, and I think it's a good outlook moving forward. Spencer K. Herb might have won the number 2 spot this week. Look better than D will when both healthy. Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree with you, Spencer. 100%. Great point, man. Wow, Collins is having a good game, says Jerry. Yeah, he really is. And I dropped him in mine Stevens League. I didn't like this matchup. I don't like the matchup next week. Wasn't feeling great about the Seahawks outlook with Geno Smith. And I made a mistake, a huge mistake. But it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. I got Herbert, right? That's actually who I dropped him for. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Chase Brown, week 7, QB none, running backs Hubbard and Daryl, wide receivers Judy Boyd, tight end Pitts, flexes Damian Williams. No defense, kicker is Prater. Bench is Zeke, Allen, Deontay, Josh Allen, Fant, CMC, Cowboys defense, and Madison. Only people on my bench that don't have a bye is Fant, CMC, and CH. 2 out of 3 are hurt, so we need to drop probably at least 2 players. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. All right, let's see here. I do think you will probably have to drop Boyd. Let me see. Let me check one thing for you. I mean, quite honestly, I think Damian Williams might be a player who you need to consider dropping. Like we just talked about with Herbert coming up, man. Um, yeah, I think that those might be the 2 odd men out, Chase. And really just look at who the best waiver wire options are. It's tough. Um, I would rather drop Williams than Madison, quite honestly. I don't know what you think about that, man. Feeling Mike, you still content with your roster up to date? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm usually pretty content. Just kind of work at the waiver wire and move along, right? Chase Brown, I'll drop Cowboys defense, so another defense. Madison for QB. Okay. Okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I mean, I get that you had to do it. Um, it's a tough position to be in, man. It really is. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have more of my notes together and a better idea of who's going to be, who we're going to be evaluating a little bit closer on the waiver wire, and hopefully I can help you out a little bit more. As it looks like Alex Collins is going to score another touchdown here. I mean, it's first and goal for Seattle, and I don't know who else they turn to. And the Steelers, excuse me, they can't tackle him, but they did. I thought he was going to break loose. Yeah, I'm regretting dropping Collins. Looks like the Seahawks are kind of relying on him. We'll see what happens here, man. All right, let's see here. Kind of trying to see if Collins scores. Nope, it's going to be the tight end, Will Disley. Interesting. All right, Spencer, I got Herbert, Keenan, J. Rob, Schultz, Knox, Pollard, Boss, Cowboys D. I'm in the week 7 bye week shit show as well. Yeah, week 7 is going to be tough for a lot of owners. Spencer, going to be dropping Boyd and trading Schultz for Fant to get me through this week. There we go. Jason Kenobi, I had a close win this week in catch fan. Let's go, Jason Kenobi. Chase Brown, I don't know what to do with both Pitts and Fants. Fant did really good. Keep both rest of the season. Yeah, I would. I would keep that depth, and especially if you can flex the tight end, I think it's worth holding on to both of them 100%. John, Kareem Hunt getting hurt going to kill your RB depth. I think it'll just be for a couple weeks, and I've got Montgomery hanging out there too, so I don't feel too bad about it. It could be worse. It could be worse. That's for sure. Uh, Philly Mike, he has Josh Jacobs. That's true. Josh Jacobs had a good day as well. Spencer, yeah, keep both, but start Pitts most weeks. Yeah, I like keep it holding on to both of those guys. Absolutely. Jared Collins would have won me the week on my other league. Yeah, I little beat myself a little bit for dropping him, but like I don't have a whole lot of room for depth. So we'll see what happens. I still wish I didn't drop him. I probably wouldn't have started him today versus Pittsburgh though. And I did win in that league today, so yeah, yeah. I'll go back and forth on that one. Of course, Steven picked him up, so that only makes it worse. JM, what's going on, brother? Uh, is it time to be concerned with Keenan Allen? Is Cup a top 3 wide receiver rest of season full PPR? All right, let's see here. I don't know if I'm concerned with Keenan Allen. It was just a really bad day. Um, so overall, sorry, I'm really in deep thought about the Chargers and that game today. I wouldn't be too concerned. If you are, I would bench him, but I would not drop him. And overall, if you need to, you can make him part of a trade deal, but I wouldn't be concerned per se. Philly Mike, John, I'm sorry. I lost my spot there. We'll get back to you, Philly Mike. JM, is Cup a top 3 receiver this season? I think top 5. Top 5. But close. Very close. All right, let's see here. Jerry, John, I'm gonna be able to look at the message I sent you and need to reply. I just want to let you know. Absolutely. If it wouldn't take too much from the stream, if so, look at it afterwards. Yeah, I'll check it out, Jerry. Absolutely, brother. Philly Mike, John, if I listened to you and kept Lamb, I'd be 1-0. Yeah, Lamb had a great day today, man. Game winning touchdown. Did you guys see? Uh After he scored a touchdown, he was already in. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on the corner's name? He like absolutely hit him late, and like just knocked the shit out of CeeDee Lamb while he was celebrating, basically. And if it was in real time, the game wasn't ending. He should have been flagged for that. But yeah, Lamb had a great day, man. Just Kobe Cup is a number 3 receiver for me rest of season. Yeah, 3 to 5. I don't disagree. When he's on point, he's as good as anyone in the league. The chemistry between him and Matthew Stafford is unreal. Spencer, it's not time to be concerned about Keenan Allen PPR, but in standard, yes. Yeah, I agree with that, Spencer. Absolutely. Max, Jamal Williams with the big 2 points. Fair enough, Max. You know, at the end of the day, guys, it is important to have uh, a positive attitude, a little bit of humor, right? If your fantasy team doesn't perform well, because it's a long season, guys, and always try to be positive about it. So when your player only scores 2 points, you know, just celebrate in your own sorrow. Chase Brown, Allen at least gets you double digits. Imagine if he does a little better. Yeah, I do think he's pretty consistent in terms of that. Jerry, I feel good about Andrews for the rest of the season. Absolutely, man. Uh, he's starting to, garner that production that we have been looking for, right? So I feel good about him on the rest of the season as well. Give me one quick second, guys. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Multitasking. Like I said, little under the weather. All right. JM, I'm thinking about keeping Ridley and trading away Keenan Allen in my league, or should I trade away Ridley and keep Allen? I feel like okay, never mind. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. I just think the volume for both of those guys are worth holding on to. So I am concerned about you losing that overall volume, right? Um that's my biggest concern. I still believe in both of those guys on the season. So if you're hurting at other positions, then I think quite frankly, I view them in pretty similar fashion, right? Ridley might not have Mike Williams next to him, but I still view them. I see now I can get Cup for Allen and Josh Jacobs. That I think is a fair trade if you're not hurting at the RB position. As long as you're not hurting at running back, Jay, I think that's a good trade actually. And if you feel like receiver is a little weak for you, I think that's an okay trade, man. Jerry Cup might be better than Tyreek. Jason Kenobi says Adams, Hill, Cup, top three in my opinion. Yeah, I think the thing with Hill, um, his ceiling might be higher than any other player at the position in the league, right? Um, you just never know when he's having one of those 35, 40-point games, right? So I don't disagree with that, Jason. Adams, most receptions, most receiving yards in the league before today, um, which is incredible. It wasn't the biggest day for him overall, so I don't know if that still stands after today. But regardless, you just can't take it away from him, right? Jessica Kenobi, John, thoughts on Scary Terry? Yeah, bad game by Mr. Scary Terry today. And this was a great matchup, right? We're for the Washington football team overall. Um, so did not like what I saw there. Taylor Heineke also not a great day as well. Uh, the Washington football team just did not play as well as they should have. But nonetheless, I still believe in Terry McLaurin on the season. But 2 bad games in a row is concerning. Got Green Bay coming up, a little bit better. Well, actually, it's a tougher matchup, but a couple injuries in that secondary. So we'll see what happens. But I still believe in him on the season. I wouldn't panic yet, but I do understand that over the last 2 weeks, he may have contributed to teams not performing as well, right? Uh, so I still believe in him on the season, but I can see where the concern is. I do think he will probably bounce back in the next coming weeks. Let's see here. Gee, what's going on, man? Man, rough week. Had Terry, Keenan Allen, Eckler, and Denver D, and lost against the worst team in the league. Yeah, the Chargers hurt a lot of people today. I mean, we have to admit it, right? I do think it's a dud of a game. I don't see them being at this level moving forward, but overall, it definitely hurts. Definitely hurts. Denver's defense, I don't know how much we can trust them right now in fantasy, guys. We talked about this a little bit last night. Most of their points and their ranking came against that big game against the Jets. Outside of that, while they're still a good defense overall, it might not be the best fantasy defense. But Jew, I do think that Terry, Keenan Allen, and Eckler will definitely bounce back for you. So no need to panic, but definitely a rough week 6. JM, I have Kamara and Zeke at running back and just got Mixon. In that case, I think you can make that trade, man. It's a fair package for Cooper Cup. And if you're hurting at receiver, man, I don't hate that trade. Now, question is, should it be Allen or Ridley, right? It's tough to say. I think I like the Chargers offense more, even after we just talked about them being disappointing today. But either way, I think it's a fair trade, and I think you could definitely consider it overall. Jay Hill's more upside, but I just like Cup's floor more. Fair enough. I don't disagree with that at all. Brian, what's up? What's going on, brother? Good to see you as always, my guy. K9, let's go. I'm winning by 7 points. Let's go. Hopefully, those 7 points get you through. Man, the Seahawks just relying on this run game from Alex Collins. And he's kind of gashing these Steelers defenders. Yikes. Chase Brown, Cowboys defense is so good, but I sadly got to drop them since they have a bye next week. Yeah. They're one to keep an eye on moving into week 8, guys, because they're going to be dropped in a lot of leagues. And if you have the depth and the roster room, you can go ahead and stash them if they do get dropped. If the Colts defense is out there, Chase, I think they're the best pickup right now. I really do. K9, I need Najee Harris to have a good day. I think he will continue to have a good day. I won't be surprised if he continues to rack up points in tonight's game. Brian, I crushed my opponent thanks to Henderson, Murray, TJ, and Deontay. Let's go. Let's go. I'm 4-2. My 2 losses are week 1 when Green Bay dropped a dud, and I have Rodgers and Jones. Lost this week because the Chargers couldn't get a drive going. Yeah. The Chargers hurt a lot of people out there, man. A lot. Jay, is it unlikely for AJ Brown to play tomorrow? I really don't have a read on this. All I know is that he's questionable with an illness, and it's hard to say. It really is. We'll have to monitor it leading up until tomorrow, but everything I've looked at isn't giving a lot of concrete information. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely would have been nice to know a little bit sooner, like before today, right? Jerry, are the Seahawks better with Geno? I don't quite know, but maybe it kind of looks that way. Right? We were concerned about this start from Geno Smith, and they sure don't look too bad tonight. Who's number 25? Another running back in here. Uh, I don't know who number 25 is, but he just had a good run. Jay, I'm up by 19.6 points, and they have Knox and AJ Brown still yet to play. So I'm praying AJ Brown misses. He sure might, the way it's looking. He possibly could, and even if he plays, very bad matchup. Now Dawson Knox, on the other hand, might have 19.6 points by himself. So we'll see what happens, Jay. Chase Brown, Colts aren't there, but Rams are on the waiver, and Ravens and Saints. I like the Saints next week. Don't know off the top of my head. So I'm a little dreary today. This start tonight, guys. I think I caught a little bit of a cold being out in the wind all day, but I don't know. I think I like the Rams though. How good do the Rams look today? Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. at John, I don't blame you for my loss this week. Thank you, Jerry. But it's fair if you guys do blame me. I'll take the heat. Brian, should I pick up Julio Jones for Tony? I don't hate it. Yeah, that was another big outcome of today's game, right? I told you guys I had a bad feeling about Tony, and I didn't quite know why. Don't get me wrong. I can't guess an injury ahead of time, but yeah, uh, he sure as hell had a awful day with that injury. So we'll have to see the timeline, Brian, on Tony, but um, it's hard to say. I don't mind Julio Jones right now, but I also have Julio Jones against me tomorrow in one of my leagues. I need him to have a bad game. So that's my biggest thought on Julio right now. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's a fair swap, Brian. Jerry, if Collins has a really big game, we'll have to fist fight. He's kind of having a big game, so we can fist fight Jerry. But I don't, I don't like violence, so I won't throw any punches. You can just, we'll put on the gear and you can throw some at me, man. James, trade D Hop and Debo for Cup and Higgins. Debo's on my bench. Yes, I think that's a fair trade. Mainly because you're receiving Cooper Cup. So I don't mind those swaps at all, James. I blame myself for starting Terry over Deontay. Yeah, great matchup for Deontay, but also great matchup for Terry. So it's a tough call there. Chase Brown, I can never bench Deontay. He's too consistent, in my opinion. Listen, ever since he burnt J. Alexander in that one game early in the season, I am not recommending not ever starting him. I feel like I can't. So yeah. I went Terry and Allen over Deontay. Rough. I mean, the game script for the Chargers game should have been much higher scoring, but Arizona's defense looked quite good. Um, and Kansas City's secondary has been awful. So both those starts made sense, right? Uh, so yeah, I don't think you made the wrong starts, but this matchup for Deontay was great as well. All right, let's see here. All right, sorry guys. Let's pull up a little bit of everything that happened today. I mean, you guys certainly throw me your fantasy Q&A, guys, but like I said, little under the weather. So we'll kind of cool tonight, guys. We'll just have some open conversation. Dude, I think Alex Collins going to score again. Pittsburgh looks a little defeated defensively. All right, I'm going to watch this 3rd and 3 play. Fake to Alex Collins. Gino gets sacked. Okay. Jerry, John, should we pick up Gino for that week 8 Lamar pie? I'm not quite sure if I'm there, but we'll see. Cardinals and Browns. Let's start there. Cardinals win 37-14. 6-0. Only undefeated team right now. James out. Would you do the trade but no Higgins? I consider it. Yeah. I'd still consider it as long as you're not hurting too bad at receiver depth after that. I would push to get Higgins though. So you're doing a clean swap 2 for 2. James Conner and Chase Edmonds combined for 117 rushing yards. DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and AJ Green all had a score today, which is crazy. The Cardinals look great, right? Cliff wasn't out there, it didn't matter. Browns, right? Nick Chubb's out, Jarvis Landry's out, Kareem Hunt gets hurt today, Odell Beckham gets hurt today, Baker Mayfield gets hurt today. Not good, guys. Not good. We'll have to keep an eye on Baker. I think that's going to have a lot of outcomes for this Browns team, right? Because I do like Jonathan Peoples Jones, right? Or Donovan. I always want to call him Jonathan because my name's Jonathan. Donovan Peoples Jones. But if Baker's not throwing the football, I don't know how comfortable I am with that waiver pickup. So we'll see how or what happens with Baker. Arizona's defense looked great today. Um, and Chandler Jones wasn't even playing. So biggest takeaway there is that we can continue to trust the Cardinals. And in terms of the Browns, we need to keep an eye on these injuries, right? Cowboys, Patriots. Cowboys win 35-29 in overtime. This is one of the more uh entertaining games. Probably maybe the most entertaining game of the day. Dak Prescott looked great in this game, man. TD Lamb had 149 receiving yards, right? And a score, right? Um, Cowboys can be trusted in fantasy football, 100%. Start them all, right? Uh, I was thinking of starting to do a sleeper video every week. Sleeper fantasy players. I can tell you that in deep league, Cedric Wilson of the Cowboys is a guy I'm keeping an eye on. In full PPR, that is. So we'll continue to monitor that. Is it time to trade away Hopkins? No, I would not, unless you can get the right amount of value for it. Um, Kendrick Bourne had a big score today, but I still don't trust these Patriots receivers, guys. I don't know how consistent we can rely on them, or how much on a consistent basis we can rely on them, right? Um, Other than that, I don't have a lot of takeaways from the game. Well, I guess once again, the Cowboys defense can get over 20 points scored on them and still somehow be fantasy relevant. So I guess that's the takeaway as well. Zeke and Pollard look good today. Probably the best handcuff situation in the league. Let's see here. Rolando, I started Claypool over Cooks. Damn. There's still time for Claypool to do something. But Cooks ended up having a good day, full PPR. Gee, thoughts on Swift and maybe trading him? He had 2 points with literally 2 minutes left and gave me 50 yards and a touchdown in garbage time. I think you can still rely on him at the flex position, but I think the bigger problem has to do with the Lions offense, not necessarily DeAndre Swift. So if you need to target a certain position, I think he's an okay trade candidate. But I do think down the stretch, you can trust him in the flex position. JM, he had 3 catches, 2 touchdowns with 4 targets. I'm considering on trying to sell high. As long as you're selling high, right? I would look to get a good amount of value out of Hopkins. Drew, no one thought Claypool would have 1 catch by now, not on you. Yeah, this matchup is way better than it looks. So the Steelers should have way more points on the board. Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos. Raiders get the win, 34-24. It's a great game, right? Great game by the Raiders. Bench Henry Ruggs. He's still on my roster, mine and Stevens league for some reason, and he had a great game. I didn't need him to win, but I mean, if you guys are hurting at receiver, Henry Ruggs is available in a lot of leagues, and a very very low floor, but always kind of a high ceiling, right? And if you guys are hurting at receiver due to bye weeks and injuries, he might be worth picking up if he's available. Kenyon Drake had a great day, right? I mean, Josh Jacobs had a great day as well, but Kenyon Drake might be someone we can start to look at as well, as he's been very, very down over the past couple of weeks. But and don't get me wrong, I don't know if he's going to have another 20-point game anytime soon, but he might be worth holding on to for now, right? As Ben Roethlisberger just fumbled the football and he's saying he threw it. Okay, we'll see what happens. The Broncos were really good at the beginning of the season, but I don't know what happened here, guys. Teddy Bridgewater has not looked as good. Tim Patrick, though, my guy, Tim Patrick. Told you guys we could start him with ease, and he's still balling out, man. He's not doing anything crazy, but Tim Patrick is a great flex player, wide receiver 2 player if you're hurting at the receiver position. I started him in both my primary leagues, and uh, I'm happy with him, man. I truly am. So, other than that, I mean, Jerry Judy's coming back, right? Um, that's the good news. Hopefully, he comes back. but not a whole lot of takeaways from this game, right? I mean, the Raiders get the win, right? And in terms of fantasy, not a whole lot of takeaways, but keep an eye on Henry Ruggs, keep an eye on Tim Patrick. If they're floating around, man, they should probably be rostered at this point. Henry Ruggs had 2 receptions of 40 plus yards, including a 48-yard touchdown. Since entering the NFL in 2020, Ruggs has tied with Devontae Adams for the most 40 plus yard receptions, and all 4 of his career receiving touchdowns have been 40 plus yards. Okay, interesting stat there. Uh, Andrew Tyson, what should I try to get for Patterson and Pitts? I need a solid running back. I think you can get a pretty decent running back for that, but I mean, maybe Henderson, as I now see JM bringing up Henderson. Is Henderson a top 10 running back going forward? I think so. I mean, we've mentioned this a couple times now. The upcoming schedule for him is quite good. So I would hold on to that schedule overall. And the coming weeks, yes, I definitely think he's a top 10 running back. So I think he's a good target, Andrew. And I think Patterson and Pitts is a pretty good package overall. Unfortunate news is there's a lot of injuries at the running back position, right? So let me go ahead and pull up and see who's hanging around at the RB spot. But I do think Henderson is quite a good option. Maybe a James Robinson, right? Might see some people who are still kind of doubting him. It depends on your league, though. All right, let's pull up the running backs. Yeah, I like those 2 guys quite a bit. Might be people out there trying to sell Fournette as well. Fournette might be a good target as well. DeAndre Swift is probably potentially out there as a trade target as well. A little bit of a tough matchup next week. Antonio Gibson had a very bad day. He might be someone who people are ready to give up on, who I still think will have a good season overall. So let me know what you think about those options. But yeah, I do think if you're packaging both of those players, you could probably get a pretty good player overall, Andrew. Chase Brown start Pitts or Fant next week? It's a good question, man. Let's see what we can't find out. Fant had a big day, of course, about 20 points, 20 plus points, depending on scoring format. It's at Cleveland next week. It's another decent matchup overall. Uh, I do like him next week. Pitt's coming off of his best game of the season. Well, I mean, of course, it wasn't this week; it was the week before. He's got Miami, so I like both of them. I know that's not a great answer, but I think both of them are quite good starts. Man, you could even consider starting both of them. Is that crazy? Uh, okay, thanks, Chase. Pitts versus Miami, Phantoms versus the Browns. I like both of those game scripts, man. Um, eh, Part of me wants to say Pitts, but Fant's coming off such a good game. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to bet against him, man. You know? Jay, I'm concerned about Waller with his lack of targets, so is it time to trade him away? Yeah, he really has gone a little bit downhill. I mean, here's the thing with Waller, man. He's got Philly coming up, then a bye week. Then he's got the Giants, Kansas City, tough matchup at Cincy, but then Dallas, Washington, Kansas City, Cleveland. And his fantasy championship game, theoretically, if and when you get there, is against Indy. So he's got a pretty positive schedule moving forward. As long as you get a tight end one that you believe in and you get some other sort of value, I think it's okay. But I would do with caution because I do think that Waller will continue to improve on these numbers. I do still believe in Darren Waller. JM, I think Gibson might be concerning going forward with his injury, so I'm picking up JD. I think that's a great option. I mean, JD McKissick had a fantastic game today, PPR wise, right? Fantastic game. Yeah. So I think it's a great pickup. Sorry, I just looked over and I saw Pete Carroll super excited, challenging a play. Let's see what happens here. Pete Carroll is feeling good. This would be a huge win for Seattle, man. Chase Brown, I could flex one of them since I need players next week. Yeah, if you're hurting overall, like we went over, man, I think it's 100% okay to flex both of those guys next week, Chase. Andrew, should I do Pitts and Patterson for Mixon? Not necessarily. Listen, man, I think can you start Patterson at the running back position in your league? Because I think Patterson's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than Mixon. And I hate to see you lose Pitts as well, right? So I think it might be a little bit too much to give up just for Joe Mixon. I mean, Mixon had a great day today. His best game of the season. He's got Baltimore and the Jets coming up, but do you think it's quite a bit to give up? Yeah, as long as I mean, if you can start Patterson at RB, um, then I don't know that if you're hurting that bad at the running back position. I mean, Patterson's facing Miami in Week 7. He's got a little bit of a tough stretch. Carolina, the Saints, Dallas, New England, tough stretch. Then he sees Jacksonville, but then Tampa Bay and Carolina, San Francisco, Detroit is the most positive out of those. Then he sees Buffalo in the championship, theoretically. So um, it just depends. I mean, looking down the stretch, Mixon might have the better outlook, but I would try and get some other sort of value, make it a 2 for 2 trade, man. Man, Alex Collins having a huge game. Huge. Let's see where he's standing at. I guess it's not a huge game, but a great game. We'll say 18 rushes, 103 rushing yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, he's playing quite well. Shout out to our co-host Steven for starting him in our league. Might end up getting him a dub. We'll see. Mister, about to be 5-1. My team stacked. Kyler QB, Trey Lance, my bench. Bye weeks coming. Okay to drop Lance. Niners got Texans, Titans coming soon. Thoughts on Lance? I do think it's okay to drop Lance. I like that you're looking ahead at those matchups and everything, man. Um, but I don't know. Let's check on the injury. See if we got any news here. Let's see here. Lance is expected to be evaluated. 49ers are optimistic he'll be available in week 7, but we do not know if he's going to start. Let's see here. Titans got Titans. So what I'm looking at, the Niners face the Titans in week 16 and the Texans in week 17. So they do face the Colts after this in week 7 after this bye week. So that's a positive matchup. But then they got Chicago, Arizona, LA, tough matchups, right? Then they see Jacksonville, then Minnesota, another tough matchup. Then Seattle, good matchup. Cincy, bad matchup. But yeah, you're right. In terms of playoffs, they got Atlanta, Tennessee, and Houston, which are great matchups. So I don't think it's going to hurt too much to drop him if you need to right now. But if you want to plan on him down the stretch, then um, I don't hate it overall. I don't hate it overall. All right, let's see here. Marky Mark, what do you think about Danny No Times next week? Already have another QB in mind. I am a little worried about our guy Danny No Times, as he's been renamed here. 4.82 points against Dallas last week, 4.08 points this week, and this week or week 7 he'll be facing Carolina. That's looking statistically a tougher matchup than the last 2 weeks. So I don't love him in week 7, Mark. I do think that there are possibly better options out there, including our guy Tua Time. Yeah, Tua Time's looking juicy next week versus Atlanta. Um, Joe Burrow might be out there as well. He's got Baltimore. It's a decent matchup. Um, Carson Wentz might be out there as well. He's got San Fran. So I think I like those guys a little bit more than Danny Dimes. And I think we've fallen off the Danny Dimes train, and as we've renamed him our Danny No Dimes. Over G, superstar Marquise Brown got me 7.5 points. Yeah, finally saw a bad game out of Marquise Brown, guys. That was another big one from the day in terms of disappointment. Sorry to hear that, over, especially since I probably recommended you starting him. Andrew, what do you think about Zach Ertz going forward? I think he'll be fine with the Cardinals, man. More targets to go around than there was in Philly. But don't get me wrong, man. If you're a part of the Cardinals, and we want to roster you on our fantasy teams, right? So yeah, I do believe that Zach Ertz, who's already was playing well with the Eagles, will continue to play well with the Cardinals as well. All right, guys, let's see where we left off. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears. Green Bay gets it up 24-14. Green Bay 5-1. This Green Bay train looks a little for real. If they didn't have that dud in week one, it'd be interesting to see where they're at. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon had a monster day. I mean, they combined for 110 rushing yards. They looked great. I mean, yeah, Adams had a little bit of a quiet day overall, but it's okay. At least for the Packers, they still got the tub. Uh, the Bears looked a little bit better offensively, right? Justin Fields had more time to throw the football today, is one thing I noticed. Um, but they still don't look great by any means. Khalil Herbert, probably the biggest takeaway from this game on either side, played quite good, right? Just under 100 rushing yards and rushing touchdown, and a couple of receptions as well. So that's my biggest takeaway out of that game from a fantasy perspective. That is Ravens at Chargers. Ravens get the dub in high flying fashion, man. 34-6. Chargers are only 4-2. Ravens are 5-1. This Ravens team, man, they're starting to look more and more legit. And we were just saying the same thing about the Chargers last week, right? This Ravens team at this point in the season is not looking bad at all. Here's the biggest takeaway for the Ravens. Sorry to hear it over in terms of Marquise Brown, but yeah, Marquise Brown did have a bad game today. But in terms of the Ravens, right? Uh, gosh, I mean, Lamar Jackson. First of all, where's Jerry? Didn't do anything for us today. I was like looking at the score at one point because I was watching through Red Zone, and I missed a little bit, and then I look up and I'm like, how are the Ravens scoring so many points, but Lamar Jackson has me such few fantasy points? But yeah, Devonta Freeman had a touchdown, Latavius Murray had a touchdown, and Le'Veon Bell had a touchdown. So this is a nightmare from a fantasy perspective. I mean, right now the most consistent back is Latavius Murray, but overall, I don't know if I want to touch this Ravens backfield, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking, but I'm a little concerned about the Ravens backfield. It looks like a nightmare from a fantasy perspective. Uh Chargers get a tough loss, man. Justin Herbert had an awful day. 195 passing yards, only one touchdown and interception. From a fantasy perspective, did not play well. Tough day to own Chargers players overall. But the Ravens look, outside of fantasy, they look quite good right now. Rams at Giants. Rams get the dub, 5-1 right now. 38-11 against the Giants, man. Um, Matthew Stafford and company look great. Cooper Kupp, pair of scores. Robert Woods. Robert Woods played good. I told you guys, right? Don't give up on Robert Woods. He's going to be all right. And he has looked just fine over the last 2 weeks, man. Henderson looked great. I don't think any of us were surprised by that. The Rams defense looked phenomenal today. Plenty of turnovers. Mark has renamed any dimes to any no dimes. Tony goes out with the injury. Not too much to take away in terms of the Giants, right? Let's double check while we're here how some of these Giants receivers finished on the day. How did Shep do out there? Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Shep had a good day. 14 targets, 10 receptions, 71 receiving yards, 2 red zone targets. So if you own Shepard, full PPR, you're still sticking with him. Uh yeah, that Tony injury is rough though. Let's check here on our guy Evan Engram. Not a great day, only 5 targets. Yeah, not a great day for Evan Engram, only 3 receptions. Let's check on Slated. Yeah, it still looks like Shepard's the guy to own in that. In terms of if you're going to own anyone on the Giants, it's definitely our guy, Sterling Shepard. And that's right, Darius Slayton didn't even play today. So let's talk about Devonta Booker for a second here. 12 rushing attempts, 41 rushing yards, 4 receptions, 28 receiving yards. If you started him, that's where he uh, made up any type of decent stat line today. Um, it was tough. The game script was not good. Giants were playing from behind. Um, so if you did start Devonta Booker, it's another tough matchup next week versus Carolina. Then he gets a little bit of a break versus Kansas City and Las Vegas, but uh, be wary of starting him. I did start him today, but just be wary of Devonta Booker. But the game script was awful. It was quite bad, right? JMAB, Godwin or Evans going forward if you had to pick one in full PPR. Quite frankly, it's a difficult decision, but is it crazy to say Antonio Brown? I don't know if it is the way he's been playing lately. But Godwin's gonna have his days, Evans is gonna have his days, but I think AB on a consistent basis might be the best play. Is that crazy to say? I don't think it is. I own Antonio Brown, so maybe I'm biased, but I think that's where I'm leaning right now, Jay. JT moving on 1-5 unless Derrick Henry outscores Diggs by 22. Do I still have a chance for playoffs if I win out? It depends on your specific league and the playoff settings, but yes, yeah. I mean, it would take other teams losing and teams at the top to lose, but yes, you still have a chance, more than likely. Vikings at Panthers. Vikings get the dub in overtime. KJ Osborne, guy I had in all my fantasy rosters, and I no longer do. Uh, Big game out of nowhere, gets the game scoring touchdown, right? Dalvin Cook had a great day, looks back in full health, 140 rushing yards, and a touchdown, right? Adam Thielen looked great today. Sam Darnold looked bad. Chuba Hubbard played quite well in place of our guy CMC. So those be my biggest takeaways there. DJ Moore had a decent day as well. A lot of drops out there by these Panthers receivers, though. Lots of drops. Bengals 4-2 get the dub 34-11 over the winless Detroit Lions. Jamar Chase played well, but a little bit of a down day for what we've seen out of him. But I wouldn't panic on Jamar Chase at all. If he had a touchdown, would have been a great stat line. Full PPR is a good enough stat line, right? Uh TJ Hawkinson had a good day. DeAndre Swift got some garbage time, like we talked about. Not a lot for me to take away here, I don't think. Right? Let's double check on some of these Bengals wide receivers though while we're here. Let's see some final stat lines for our guy T. Higgins coming back from injury. 6 targets, 3 receptions, 44 receiving yards. Not a great day. We had some questions about Tyler Boyd. Let's check the final stat line. If it'll load. Maybe it won't. But anyways, oh well, here's Tyler Boyd. Okay, we got it to load. Yeah, only 3 targets and 1 reception. Not great at all. Jamar Chase, really the guy to own in that offense, which we know by now, outside of Joe Mixon, right? All right, let's see here. In terms of TJ Hawkinson, though, a good day, right? I mean, a lot of us starting to get spooked by Hawkinson, but finally saw that target share that we wanted him to see that he was kind of missing over the last 3 weeks. A decent target share against Chicago, but nonetheless, span 11 targets today, 8 receptions, 74 receiving yards. If he had added a score, it would have been back to similar fashion, but still had a good day, full PPR nonetheless. Mr. I picked up Collins over Booker. I have Zeke out next week. A little worried Seattle gets Penny back next week. The way Alex Collins is playing tonight against one of the best teams against opposing running backs in the league, I wouldn't be too worried, man. I would not be too worried. He looks like he's going to be okay. Penny might get some work as well, but I think he'll be okay overall, man. All right, let's see here. JT moving. Since Kareem Hunt got hurt, should I trade away Henry and Godwin for Justin Jefferson and Chubb, or should I ask for more? If you're trading away Derrick Henry, you need to get more value than that. Yeah. Especially since Chubb is banged up right now. You absolutely need to get more value than that. Yeah. 100%. I would try and ask or add another player into that mix. And who are the rest of your running backs? Because I don't know if it's worth trading Derrick Henry away, man. I truly don't. All right, let's see here. Chiefs at Washington football team. Big win for the Chiefs. They needed the dub. They get it in high fashion, 31-13. Not a lot to say here. Mahomes look good. Tyreek Hill look good. Chiefs look good. Washington football team looked bad. Other than J.D. McKissick, right? Daryl Williams had a good game in place of CEH. Uh, Not a lot of surprises here. But Daryl Williams played quite good, so kudos to you guys who did start him. JT moving. My RBs are Booker, Mike Davis, and Henry, but my receivers are terrible is the only thing. Godwin, Myers, and Renfro. So you get an upgrade at RB and an upgrade at receiver, but you lose Derrick Henry. If you're hurting that bad at receiver, and you make a power play and you try and get one more receiver, but just keep in mind, man, Nick Chubb is still, as of right now, hurt. So keep that in mind because there's a little bit of risk involved there as well, JT moving. Colts get a dub today. 2-4 against the 1-5 now Houston Texans. Jonathan Taylor had a great game. Told you guys, start him. I'm happy you guys did. If you did, Texans, of course, starting to look like the Texans we expect, right? Outside of that, I mean, T.Y. Hilton played okay, and then he got hurt. That was kind of sad. Um, Carson Wentz, not a good performance, but another decent performance, right? Still a guy that you can potentially uh, stream if you need to, but I don't know how crazy we feel about that, right? Let's pull up Michael Pittman's stats on the day. Mo Alley Cox, if he's out there, guys, at this point, Mo Alley Cox is worth being rostered. Michael Pittman, one of the bigger busts of the week for us, guys. Michael Pittman had a bad day. Uh, but Mo Alley Cox, guys, if he's out there and you need a tight end, he's worth taking a swing at as of now. Zach Pascal, awful day, guys. Awful. Let's see the final stat line on Mo Alley Cox. I mean, he it's just a huge red zone target for Carson Wentz, right? I mean, only 3 targets and 1 reception, 1 touchdown. Okay. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, right? He's absolutely touchdown independent, but uh, keep an eye on him if you're hurting that tight end, right? No, a lot of bye weeks coming up. So, JM, will Chumpy back next week? It's hard to say. I don't think we have uh, an update quite yet, but we'll see what happens. Spencer says, I think so. I mean, yeah, Spencer, but nobody really knows. Yeah, absolutely right, Spencer. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll just have to keep updated, man. I think he will be, though. I think Spencer's hitting on the dot there. Just to be even, someone else in my league said he would trade AB, Henry, and Godwin, or he would think about Henry and Godwin for JT and Tyreek Hill. I like that trade a little bit more, but it doesn't necessarily fix your running back problem. It adds more value to your roster, though. I don't hate it, but I hate to or maybe potentially recommend trading away Derrick Henry, right? Um, and oh gosh, you got an awful injury here in the Seahawks Steelers game. Stretcher and everything. Yikes. JM and Mixon or Henderson rest of season and full PPR. Wow. Part of me wants to say Mixon, and part of me wants to say Henderson, man. I like both these backs quite a bit. Let us know in the chat, guys. What do you guys think? Henderson or Mixon rest of season? Hard to say. Gosh, this injury looks awful, man. Yikes. I don't want to watch that. All right. Colts are good, but not good, and the Texans are bad. There's my final take on that game. Jaguars and Dolphins. This was an exciting game. I ended up watching more of this game than I thought I would. And Tua looked all right. I mean, two bad defenses, guys. Two bad defenses. So let's not take away too much. Jalen Waddle had a great game. Mike Gesicki had a great game. Tua looked good. And I think everyone we expected to have a good game had a good game, right? James Robinson looked good. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good, right? Laviska Shenault played pretty good today. Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones had a very good day. So I don't know how much we want to read into this, but if you're having players on bye week next week, then might not hurt you too much, right? Might not hurt you too much to look at some of those players, I should say. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, there we have it. That's the whole week. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anyone. All right, let's see here. All right, guys. Let's continue the fantasy Q&A. Let's watch the end of this game. All right. Mr. Mister, I have Henderson on my team. Mixon is hurt. Spencer, Henderson has a higher floor, lower ceiling. Mixon has lower floor but higher ceiling. Yeah, I agree with that point too. JM, I don't know. I feel like Henderson still has high of ceiling because Rams most times will be ahead and run the ball more. It's a fair point too. At that point, they might just be putting Sony Michelle in. I like both of those backs quite a bit. Is that a bad answer? I feel like it is. Oh, time to get the Waterloo going. So yeah, I felt like today was a little bit more of an expected week. Like more things that we expected to happen happened today than in comparison to the last 5 weeks where we had all kinds of things happening that we didn't foresee happening, right? So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the Seahawks will win tonight. Maybe we'll get an unexpected win. But I felt like today we got most things right for the most part. Maybe other than the Chargers, right? And the Browns. I mean, granted, injuries, you know, playing a big factor in that game, but not a whole lot. I mean, I actually had a feeling that the Jags were going to get their first win today. Maybe that was another one that other people, you know, didn't foresee. But I felt like today was pretty much what we expected. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Wow, what a gruesome injury. Gruesome, gruesome injury. Got like all the players and coaches out on the field. Hate to see it. Probably get a game of Madden going after this game. Like I said, we're just kind of cooling it at this point. Uh, sorry guys if I'm not as locked in. Um, like I said, just a little bit under the weather. So let me know what you guys thought about the week overall. How you guys are feeling moving forward. I know most of you already have, but I felt like today was relatively what we expected. I had a good fantasy day overall. Got the dub in mine and Stevens week. Even with Lamar Jackson not doing much for me. Devonta Booker not doing a whole lot for me as well. Outside of that, all my players had at least 11 points, other than Nick Folk, who I picked up kind of on a whim, as he was like the number one ranked kicker, or I think he was tied to the Tyler Boss. Um, so that was interesting. He didn't have a great day at all. I benched Dalton Schultz. He still ended up having a pretty good day, guys. About 10 points. So Dalton Schultz looks good moving forward as well. So let's go ahead and skip to week 7 and my one league. Let's see. Oh, and then in my 20-man league, I don't know how this happened. I had no expectations of me winning. Put up 116.5 points. My opponent has just under 60 points. He's got Stephon Diggs, Jeremy McNichols, and Julio Jones. So technically, he can still beat me, but it's going to take quite a bit to do it. Now, it could happen, right? So we'll see what happens. But that was good news. I've been hurting in my 20-man league, and I absolutely thought I was going to lose today. So that was good news. Yeah, that was a good fantasy feeling today. Felt like I did something right. And really, in that league, I'm just kind of planning for the future. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson. Forgot to bring up Ramondre Stevenson. He had a big day, guys. He gets the Jets next week. He might be floating out there, guys. He's worth picking up at this point. Ryan, Cooper Cup, Dalvin Cook, and Cortland Sutton save me from the disastrous Daniel Jones performance. There you go. Happy to hear it, man. Happy to hear it. Absolutely. Yeah, I need to pick up Ramondre Stevenson in my 20-man league. We could we'll save the waiver wire additions for tomorrow. But if any of them come up, we can talk about it. Najee Harris still running this football, Spencer. Where you at, brother? Guys, do you think I can drop Rondell Moore? I I, I kind of hate starting him. Had to start him because I've got Corey Davis on bye week. Luckily, I get Judy coming back. But in my 20-man league, my receivers are literally Rondell Moore, Tim Patrick, Mon-Ra St. Brown, Corey Davis, and Jerry Judy. And I'd like to put in a waiver for Ramondre Stevenson, as I just have Aaron Jones, James Robinson. That's it. So if I can snag uh, any sort of running back, then that would benefit me. Man, Graham Gano only had 3 points. Mister, I disagree. Vegas got involved big time on Thursday. The Eagles covered spread with pointless 2-point conversion. Referees rigged Jack's under total. Dolphins lost 2 back-to-back challenges. Huh. Huh. Good points. Good points. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it that way. It's definitely interesting sometimes when you start breaking down the things that go on with Vegas and the referees. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not denying it, brother. All right, do I drop Dallas's defense? I don't think I can afford to. Sorry, guys, I'm just talking out loud about my league. I know it's not that interesting. Wow. I was planning on starting the Saints next week against Seattle, but the way Seattle's playing, I'm like, I don't know. Man, Jared Cook got me 12 points. Oh gosh, guys, I need a tight end next week. When does Logan Thomas come back? So for some reason, I have Logan Thomas on my team. That's not good. Yeah, I'm going to make some moves. Who's available at tight end? Spencer, I wish Sleeper had an untouchables button so I could add Aaron Jones, Najee, and Kyler on it. Fair enough. Najee Harris, man. I mean, this guy's for real. He's going to be so good for years to come, man. I truly, truly believe it. Cole Kmet had a decent game today. Man, I might have to pick up OJ Howard and start him next week. Who do the Bucks play next week? Chicago. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get off my 20-man league. Oh man, I'm hurting in mine Stevens primary league too. I'm not gonna have James Robinson, which is not good. I want to start Javonte Williams. Spencer, I think Najee's got to be top 5 overall in Dynasty right now. Yeah, I 1000% agree. 1000%. And Chase Claypool, oh no, the foot was out of bounds. Oh no, man. I thought he was about to score. Oh man, I'm hurting next week in fantasy, guys. Next week's a tough bye week, guys. Like, pretty pretty damn tough. Ooh, Corey Davis has got New England again. That could get interesting. Do I start Henry Ruggs or Corey Davis next week? Every time I bench one of those two players, they go off, and every time I start one of those two players, they have a bad game. Yeah, I'm really hurting. I got Montgomery and CMC on IR. Oh, well, only one of them's actually on my IR. We only have one IR spot, so one was on my bench, right? But then I got James Robinson on bye and Dalton Schultz on bye. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough day. I need Lamar to have a crazy game. Like he just needs to go whatever he did, uh, versus Indianapolis. I need him to do that again. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough week. I'm starting Devonta Booker and Herbert next week as my primary running backs. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. But yeah, if Ramondre Stevenson is out there, guys, I do think he's worth picking up. 1000%. Chris Evans. Chris Evans might be an interesting pickup too, as long as we continue to see injuries to those other Bengals running backs. Steelers need a big play here. And Najee Harris almost has it. Spencer, week 7 is bye as hell if you have a good team. I swear all the good players are out. Yeah, I agree, man. It looks pretty rough overall. I might have to take a mental note and come back to that the way it's looking. JM, I'm playing someone next week who has J. Robin Diggs on bye and has Chubb and Hunt. Oh, yikes. Yikes. That is tough. I'm going to pop in a lozenge, guys. Yeah, I don't even know. Next week's just bad. Injuries and bye weeks. Really hurting things. But we will progress, guys. There's certainly plenty we can do. All right, Chris Boswell lining up for a field goal here. We'll give the Steelers a 3-point lead. And he makes it. Oh, man, I just checked in the Catch Fam League. Mr. I bet the Steelers win by a field goal here. Gross. Yeah, not the most exciting game. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to need some help next week in the Catch Fam League, man. I've got Zeke on bye week, Kareem Hunt injured, which means I only have one running back. And then Josh Allen's on bye week. And my kicker's on bye week. So that's not good. I need to make some moves, guys. I'm hoping for some OT, give Najee a few more. It could definitely happen the way this game is going. Absolutely could happen, Spence. Mr. F in Vegas. Yeah. Could be the case. All right. I got to make a couple moves. I'm dropping in Russell Wilson in the Catch Fam League. If anyone wants him, he might be available next week. How did Naheem Hines do today? Bad. How did Brandon Bolden do today? Bad. Which one of these Browns running backs do we potentially consider, guys? That's the real question. I haven't figured it out. They both played pretty bad. Mr. Spread is 5 if under 48 points. Of course it is. Yeah, I'm hurting in the Catch Fam next week, guys. Is PPR in a PPR league, I'd prefer Hunt going forward. Yeah, I do too. But I'm just worried that he's banged up and he might not play next week. So my circumstance, it's not good. All right, let's sit back for a second here. Let's watch the end of this football game. Timeout, of course, as soon as I start to sit back and watch. Sorry, guys. I know my energy's not 100% there. You guys have already heard me say it. I'm a little bit under the weather, but just want to apologize, guys, if I'm not 1000% interactive, man. Try my best. I plan on being on here for as long as I can go. So, Alex Collins, 101 rushing yards tonight. Just texted Steven and asked him if I could have Alex Collins back in our league. All right, Geno Smith dropping back on 2nd and 3. Finds his man. And it's Alex Collins, of course. Or is that, do you say Dallas? Anyways, Seahawks got to hurry up. Yeah, that was Dallas. My bad. Seahawks got to get in. Ooh, great catch by DK. But Chase Claypool's saying it's out. Ref is saying it's in. DK isn't saying anything. Spencer, I like Chubb more. He's more consistent. I like both of them quite a bit. They're one of the only tandems you can start both those guys. I think that's a catch by DK, and I think I think DK kind of was wobbling back a little bit. He's going to stay out there, but the way his foot landed didn't look great. And it's a catch. And Spencer, you might get your wish here. Seahawks might be in field goal range already. Unless the Seahawks score. Jerry, wow, Collins with a huge game. Yeah, he is balling, man. And I didn't like this matchup, but it hasn't seemed to matter tonight. Wow, the Seahawks even forced to fumble. I mean, the Steelers forced to fumble on that play. I didn't even notice. Bounced right back into Dallas's hands. Wow. Mark, don't know how I won in my other league as well, especially since I started Mike Evans and Mike Williams. Hey, man, a dub is a dub. Nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I don't know how I'm probably going to win in my 20-man league. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Russell Wilson getting hype on the sidelines. Do you know when Carson will return? I don't. Let's double check. Since we're getting a timeout anyways. Yeah, let's check on Carson. Let's see what we can't find out. Probably won't have much of an update, but let's see. Yeah, he's on IR now. So yeah, through week 9. Not eligible to come back until week 9, Jay. So after their bye week, they'll face in week 9 is their bye week, so he will get an extra week off, which is good news if you own Carson. Green Bay, Arizona, Washington, San Fran, Houston, LA, Chicago. Not great matchups. All of those either middle of the pack or top 15, right? And then in the potential fantasy championship, he gets Detroit, which is a great matchup. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks like he'll be gone through week 9. All right, second 3 for the Seahawks. Geno finds DK. DK fumbles. Seahawks recover, but the clock's running. They have no timeouts. DK's pissed. Oh my gosh, how did they get that off? Whoa, there's no time left on the clock. What is happening, guys? What is happening? The officials have to review it. Oh my gosh. What a mess. Wasn't DK like out of bounds? So this is craziness. This is crazy. Mister, sorry for rants. It's just ever since I follow Vegas odds, easier to win fantasy. Example, last year I said Diggs would outscore Eckler, which he did because Vegas had Buffalo over 10 wins. Rigged. I don't disagree with what you're saying, man. It's definitely out there. Let's see this play. I think I think they got the spike off. Is that the right way to phrase that? All right, let's watch the replay again. So DK inbounds, ball comes out. Yeah, that was a great forced fumble. That was a fantastic punch. The Steelers are trying to hold down the receiver who recovered it. Yeah, they're saying if Swan sits there 1 second longer, the play does not get off. Of course, Mike Tomlin's angry. All the Steelers are angry. Doesn't surprise me. Sorry, guys, if you hear me clearing my nose. I do sincerely apologize. Wow. I think they got the I think they should be awarded 1 second, even though I shouldn't want that because that helps you, Spencer, with Najee Harris. But this will be an interesting call. Mister, what's your take on this in terms of Vegas? Because this would be a great example of something being rigged one way or another, if the Seahawks are awarded this 1 second or not. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm watching this through YouTube TV, so I'm a little bit behind if you guys are watching this on cable. I'm interested to see what happens here. Mike Tomlin is not happy. Let's see what happens. Ben Roethlisberger has a look of defeat. Well, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm not watching with sound, so okay. 3 seconds on the clock. So the Seahawks have to spike the ball. Okay, that's what I thought I was reading. I just wanted to make sure. Mister, 65% of bettors on over can't go over 48 total. Okay, thank you. Mike Tomlin is very mad. I am kind of confused how there's 3 seconds on the clock. I was thinking he spiked it right with 1 second. So I am a little confused about this. I won't lie. JM Dam, are you serious? 3 seconds. Mr. Or win by 5. Yeah. I'm a little confused how 3 seconds got put on the clock. Because on the replay, when it was showing the play clock, there's only a second left when he spiked the ball. So I'm a little confused by that. Here you go, Spencer. We're going overtime as long as they make this. Spencer, we got a tight matchup, my guy. Well, you got to make this field goal. Spencer, I'm getting nervous, bro. I don't quite know that I got this dub locked in. And the kick is good. Overtime, it is. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Mister, he will miss. Man, DK almost lost that game. If Najee scores 5 more, I feel a hell of a lot more confident. I would too. I mean, it's a great matchup for the Bills. But Emmanuel Sanders has had some bad games this year. A little bit more concerned about him than I am Josh Allen. But either way, Spencer, we had a beautiful matchup. We had a great matchup. Both our teams look very solid. I mean, my biggest concern is Kareem Hunt, of course, but our teams look good, man. So it's a great matchup either way, no matter what happens. That was such an interesting series of events in this game. Spencer, I play you week 1, play Steven last week before playoffs. Well, and theoretically, you get the opportunity to knock Steven out of the playoffs, which is awesome. I'm going to blow my nose, so give me 1 second, guys. Do you guys like that? Just the visual, no audio of me blowing my nose. Beautiful, beautiful Sunday night hangout, guys. Uh, Mister, no way Steelers win by T-Day by a touchdown. That won't happen. We shall see. Spencer, looking at his squad, he's going to have no RB2 against me. His team is hurting a little bit. Yeah, say that much. Definitely hurting quite a bit. Jerry, damn it, John. I hope you're feeling good. About what? I'm feeling okay right now. I'm not sure if you're talking about fantasy or about my sinus thing I got going on. I don't feel that bad. I like wife and I went to a pumpkin patch today, and I was outside for a while. It was pretty cold and windy. That like fall winter weather is kicking in, guys. And I haven't been out in the cold in a while, so I think that's what's happening here. But terms of fantasy, I don't feel that bad overall. Oh, about being sick. Okay, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to assume. Uh, I've actually played Madden. I want to move me over here. There we go. I'm getting back on face of the franchise till this game is over. Jerry, thank you for looking out for my sickness. Appreciate that, man. Spencer Chris Collinsworth has the most annoying voice. Yo, there's some pretty bad stuff you can dig up on some things Chris Collinsworth has said. Okay, it came up on my feed randomly today. Yeah, not too bad, but things that you definitely couldn't say today. So pretty bad in terms of somebody who is a commentator for the NFL. Probably making pretty damn good money too. Oh, dude. Can you guys see the reflection of Madden? That's how I should make you guys watch me play Madden. All right. So you guys got Steelers or Seahawks? Should be interesting. Hopefully. You know what? I might as well just pull up face of the franchise on here. Why not? All right. Seahawks are treading on out there. Spencer Gino gonna clutch up. Gino is the GOAT. Don't forget it. Jay, best case scenario for Hunt should be 2 to 3 with 2 to 3 weeks out with a calf strain. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking. At least that timeline. Jerry, we go against each other in week 12. Yikes. Good luck, Jerry. Ooh. You're lucky that Hill has a bye week for our matchup. Yeah, I definitely am lucky. All right. There you go. Oh, wow, I can't talk. There you go, guys. Wow, Geno Smith finds Tyler Lockett. Yeah, I'm playing my face of the franchise. So I'm having a flashback. I'm back in my college days, guys. Spencer says, Jerry, you're gonna kill me next week. Thanks or congrats in advance. Whoa. What is this thing doing? Thibodeau, let's go. It's my guy. What is this playbook? DJ Dallas gets stuffed right away. What else is going on, guys? Like I said, not 100% there tonight. So you guys let me know it's good. We'll talk about it. Okay, catch fam. Gino dropping back, 2nd and 14. Fines, of course. DJ Dallas getting quite a bit involved at the end of the game here. I love how my name is Madden. I guess I didn't change my guy's name. Here we go. End of the first. I know face of the franchise is more exciting than the actual football game on. All right, 3rd and 4 for the Hawks. Can Geno do this? We'll see. Geno's going to get sacked. TJ Watt sacks him. That's why TJ Watt got the bag, man. Plays like that. Let's try a halfback screen. I haven't ran one of these in forever. What a sack there by our guy, TJ. Geno just couldn't do it. Got to punt the football. Here you go, Spence. Gonna get some points. Najee's about a ball. The Black John Madden, a new era of football. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, come on, Thibodeau. All right, Ben Roethlisberger going out to the field. Mr. Oh, Saints get Michael Thomas back against Ravens next week. Huge Vegas trap game. There you go. How you guys feeling about Michael Thomas? Oh, no, I took the sack. Najee Harris, there he is, Spence. What is this spot? What is this? What? How was that a miss? I knew I should have gone for it. Look at this LSU kicker. He can't play. Okay. We were having a good drive. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. This flashback is not good. Mister, got him on my bench. You know, I kind of need a receiver in mine Stevens League. Let's see if he's available. Third and 4 for the Steelers. Next score wins. Yeah, Michael Thomas is not available. Spencer might have to play him next week because of week 7. Yeah. Week 7 is yucky. Seahawks make the stop. Unbelievable. Well, not really, but yeah, I mean, the Steelers have to punt. Good play by the Hawks. Should get interesting, guys. Spencer, not that I want to play him first week back. Yeah, it's going to be a fucking tie. It might be. What kind of block was that? All right, next score wins. Spencer, mess up the standings. There's always at least one. Yeah. Yeah. Both these defenses have played quite well. What? Thomas has to produce because he wants to be traded. Yeah. Man, imagine him getting midseason swapped to like the Packers. Do you guys see it? I think the Saints might want to move on from him. Do you guys think that's crazy to say? We'll see how he produces. Ooh, Geno with the pump fake. He fumbles. Geno fumbles. Oh, no. Oh, the Steelers fumbled. Okay, I think they're good. Gino fumbles. No way. Spencer, the guy that yellowed red on this game has to be the game being a tie has to be sweating. There's got to be one guy out there with a tie bet. I just drew a flag in my flashback game. TJ Watt making the most out of this game. Jerry, John, what's the session about? It's about such a good show. Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa, I threw a gosh, my flashback's not so good. Basically, the dad is like Steve Jobs, Walt Disney type person, owns like the largest media corporation in the United States, and he is dying, and it's just about the fallout of the entire family and everything to go around that. So if you're into like uh stock market stuff, if you're into like uh almost like crime type drama, political type drama, it's just the show's amazing. It's definitely worth watching. That was probably the worst like preview I just gave of it ever, but it's 1000% worth watching. Unfortunately, only on HBO Max though. Spencer Pitt just kicks the field goal right in. Bad fumble by Gino, man. Bad fumble. I mean, Pittsburgh better make this. I was so confused. I was like, what is this formation? TJ Watt's brother out there. Yeah, this flashback hasn't been very good from my college days. Wow. What a play by TJ. Mr. Mister, after the Saints lost in playoffs, Thomas was supposed to get surgery. He waited until May. That's why they were upset with him. Yeah, and there are some other issues too in terms of locker room stuff. Oh, let's go interception. I think there are some other issues there too. Pittsburgh wins the game. Game is over. What a game. All right, let's see here. I got to make a play. And that was, whoa, we caught it. Kyler Murray, 4 passing touchdowns a day, 229 passing yards, 20 of 30. Great day for our guy, Kyler. Jerry, wow, my connection went off as soon as he started explaining the show. No need to repeat it. I'm sure it's a good show. Yeah, basically, premise of the show is the think of the dad as like Steve Jobs or Walt Disney, but he oversees like the largest media business in the entire US, and he is dying. It's just about everything that happens because of that. 100% worth watching though. Spencer, Kyler Murray had 4 fumbles today. How the hell do you fumble 4 times? That's a great point. Yeah, he hasn't been really on top of things from a rushing standpoint. I love the fact that they gave KJ Osborne the GoPro to celebrate with. Walk-off touchdown, man. All right, let's see here. How the hell did the Ravens put up so many points and Lamar Jackson had such a bad game? All right, I got to get some points on the board here in my college flashback. Jerry, oh wow, that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, I gave you guys a pretty bad preview of it, but the show's amazing. Absolutely one of the best shows I've watched ever. Definitely time for it to get bad, right? But as of now, definitely one of the best shows I've ever watched. Got highlights of the Raiders Broncos game. Raiders running game looked good today, man. Spencer, he doesn't really need to run much anymore. Got good enough wide receivers now that someone gets open when he scrambles. Yeah, I don't disagree. Jerry, unless Steven makes it to the playoffs, I won't go against him this season. Well, it's probably good for Steven because he's not looking too hot. I'm just going to keep dumping off to my running back. Oh, gosh. Maybe not. He went straight out of bounds. Jerry, no, I'm serious. It sounded pretty interesting. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, it's worth watching, man. They should. I'm not sponsored by HBO though. If you guys are wondering. All right, here's the game-winning drive, game-tying drive. Oh, come on, man. Watching this Joe Mixon replay from today. Great score. Spencer, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. Peace out, Spence. Thanks for coming through for a bit. Sorry tonight's stream was a little bit low energy, but appreciate you coming out as always, Spence. Have a great night, brother. Spencer probably won't be in tomorrow, but maybe popping late. No worries, man. No worries at all. Good to have you, whatever we do, Spence. But take a night and chill out, and we will see you when we see you, my guy. Hope you have a great Monday overall. So we'll talk to you soon, brother. All right, let's see. There we go. Touchdown. Right? Okay. Jerry, is there a difference between the college players and the NFL players in Madden? Yes. When you do deal with actual college players, they're just made up. So this college setting is only in face of the franchise, and so yeah, you can't play with these college teams and anything else other than face the franchise. But when we're looking at like in franchise mode, when you do draft players, they're completely made up. They have nothing to do with actual college football players. Cooper Cup looked great today, man. I've got the replays NFL Game Day going on one of the screens, and yeah. Wow, I didn't quite realize that Daryl Henderson had a receiving touchdown today of that fashion. I knew he had one, but he looked like a receiver out there. I still believe in this Rams team, guys. Really do. I feel like we have to win this flashback. But then I'll probably actually play real Madden. And then we'll probably wind down for the night. I feel a little bit better than when I started the stream. There we go. Oh, come on. Tackle him. Jerry, damn, this essay has stressed me out so much. I might just turn it in so I don't have to deal with it. Yeah. It's okay to do that a couple of times semester, right? You know? As long as you did most of the work at a, you know, decent level. Oh, come on. Tackle this man. Okay, thank you. I'm sure glad I traded for Henderson. Yeah. I wish I traded for Henderson. I wish I didn't have to trade Henderson away in my 20-man league because my team would be so much more reliable, so much better, and as I planned on it being. Um, and right now they're kind of in shambles. Ooh, Kareem Hunt's replay on my screen. Yikes. Chase Brown, thoughts on Ryan Tannehill against Kansas City next week as a streamer? I don't know if I feel great about it. right? I mean, we thought Taylor Heineke was a streamer this week, and he was the opposite. And Tannehill just hasn't been great. I'm telling you guys, my top streamer next week is Tua. And I don't know if that's a great choice, but he looked good today, and he's got the Falcons next week. And that's just kind of where I'm sitting. We'll probably do a streamer video this week, quarterback streamers. Um, and yeah, we might. I mean, I'll probably do that. This is what I'm thinking for the week. Our car. I don't mind Derek Carr as a streamer option. Chase. Yeah, I don't mind that. I like that more than Tannehill, I think. But yeah, I'll probably put out a waiver wire video like always tomorrow. And then I'm probably gonna try and plan on doing a quarterback streaming video and then a sleeper video for the week as well. So hopefully that's helpful for you, Chase. But I don't know if I feel great about Tannehill as a streaming option. Is that crazy? Wow, that was a bad throw by me. I got to get a dub, guys. This is my college flashback. Chase, how'd you do overall today, man? Dude, next week is like the worst, though. We've been talking about it already tonight. But so many bye weeks next week, so many injuries over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. I'm scared, guys. Next week looks scary. Yeah, I want to stream quarterbacks against Kansas City, but I'm kind of taking a double look at it after today. Is that crazy? Chase Brown, wait, what did you say? Sorry, I barely heard you on my end. Sorry, man. Um, I'm not sure that I'm crazy about Tannehill as a streamer next week. I think guys are gonna hate me, but I'm leaning towards Tua versus the Falcons. What do you guys think about Tua after today? Is it crazy to say Tua might be one of the better options? Man, the Cowboys look great today. I like Tua. I like Derek Carr. I like Carson Wentz. There's some options for sure. Jerry, pick up Danny Dimes. Yeah, I think he's Derry no dimes now. Oh God, I just threw a pick six. I gotta let him score. We gotta let him score, guys. Yeah. Wow. Face of the franchise. My flash drive. Wow. My flashback not looking too good here. Mr. Mister, I'm going against Taylor and Herbert next week. Well, it might work out the way Herbert looked this week. You never know. Taylor's another story. He's on a roll right now. Chase Brown, Matt Ryan, yeah, against Miami. I think that's a pretty good option too. I do like that game overall in terms of lack of defense. Yeah, I do like that game. So yeah, I don't mind Matt Ryan at all. Oh gosh, guys, I can't believe it. As soon as I pressed that button, I was like, oh god, that's pick six. Yeah, we need to rename next week. I mean, I thought this past week was Biocalypse, but it might be next week. These injuries, guys, they're scary. Gosh, CeeDee Lamb was so good today. My receivers can't do anything for me, man. That was an awful throw. Dude, I don't know if I can win this. I didn't mean to call this play. All right, let's see, boys. Oh, yeah. First down. All right. We gotta lock in here. That was a bad play. Oh gosh, why did I throw that? We can't do it, boys. We're gonna lose our flashback. Jerry, are these flashbacks of game mode and Madden? They are just in face of the franchise. So kind of. Oh gosh. Yeah, we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna have to throw a Hail Mary. Oh god. All right, if I yeah, juke move. All right, let's play some real Madden. We'll play a game of Madden, then we'll probably well, we'll see what happens for the night. Go ahead and hit that like button if you guys haven't done so already. Looks like we're staying pretty much within the catch fam so far for the night. So let's try and get some new streamers to the channel tonight as well. New streamers, new viewers. Can you guys tell I'm a little out of there? Ian Phillips, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. I'm 3-3 in my league. Should I hold on to CMC? I I would, man. I think down the stretch, it's going to be more impactful to hold on to him. So yes, I do think that's the best call. Now, uh, I would probably want to see the rest of your roster, Ian. But if you're hurting at certain positions and you can get the right deal, then sure, you can consider it. But down the stretch, Christian McCaffrey is going to be very beneficial to have. Jerry, that was hard to watch. That was pretty bad. Wasn't really locked in. Plus, the settings are different. They're not what I have like when I play franchise, and that's a lousy excuse. But um, still, it does change things a little bit. Oh, we're getting some players back from injury. Let's go. Let's go. It was pretty hard to watch, Jerry, I'm sure. But Ian, if you can get the right deal, then I don't think it hurts. But it's just going to depend on what you can get and how the rest of your RB depth looks overall down the stretch as well. Mr. Maybe if Urban Myers stays away from the beef this week, Trevor might be a good fill-in. Yeah, I don't mind Trevor Lawrence, but I think there might be better options out there. I started Trevor over Tua in my 20-man league, and Tua had the better game. I was kind of expecting the day to be one of Trevor's better games, and it was. I mean, it was first dub, right? But I expected a little bit more out of Trevor Lawrence overall. Oh, look at this. We got a rain game, boys. So how's everyone feeling moving into week 7? Other than awful because of bye weeks and injuries. Anyone out there feel confident in week 7? We're good. I'm 2-4. I'm playing this team next week, but my players are on bye. Zeke and James Robinson. The players he is on bye week is Eckler, Allen, Stephon Diggs. I think I might win. Hey, at least you get a decent trade off. But yeah, Zeke and James Robinson on bye week in the same week is tough, bro. At least he's got some of his major players as well, so that benefits you as well. Ian Phillips, 14-man league. I'm struggling with RBs. I have CMC, Gibson, Keenan, Devontae, Adams, Kettle, and CD. My team is stacked, especially for a 14-man league, but injuries are killing me. Yeah, injuries are just rough this year, guys. You're not the only one, Ian, but I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hey, if Gibson's your RB2, then it might be worth it, especially since your receivers are definitely stacked, man. Uh, if you can get a pretty good package deal for CMC, it might be worth it, man. Let me know who you're thinking of targeting, but maybe a Daryl Henderson, right? Maybe a Jonathan Taylor. There are players out there that I think you can start to target a little bit. So let me know what you're thinking, Ian. Holding, come on. Real good. Mooney played decent today, and I started him too. Let's go. That was a good start, man. And that chemistry between Fields and Mooney is definitely for real. I think Mooney might be a flex play moving forward, guys. I mean, as long as Fields is the QB, which I'm assuming he's going to be. But yeah, Mooney looks all right. So, I mean, I definitely think if you own him, he's a safe flex play at this point. But great choice there, Real Goated. I'm glad to see your season kind of turning around, man. I know it's been tough, but it's been a tough season for a lot of us, guys. I mean, injuries have been. This might be the worst year in terms of injuries I think I've ever seen. Is that an overstatement? I don't think it is. I forgot Devontae Adams is injured in our Madden franchise. It's not good. Man, that Vikings Panthers game was kind of crazy. Mr. Mister, yes, I'm destroying my league. Not scared. Kyler, Zeke, Henderson, Monty, Collins, Lamb, Woods, Sanders, Kirk, Thomas, Kelsey, Grock, Lance on bench. Let's go, Mr. Mister. Quite the squad there, my guy. Najee is playing out of his mind his rookie season. Says Real Goated. Yeah, he is balling, man. He is having a fantastic season. And I think it only continues for the time coming. I feel good about the rest of the season on the Catch family, but awful my other two leagues, says Jerry. Yeah, it's been a rough road, guys. Like, really. This has been a difficult fantasy season to manage. I feel okay overall. Not in my 20-man league, though. I don't know how I'm going to get through in that league. Only way I can get through is pure luck. And, whoa, what was that throw? Come on, Teddy. Must be the rain. Real good. I'm getting kind of worried, but not really at the same time that AJ Dillon is jumping into his touches. Yeah, they're definitely utilizing AJ Dillon, but at the same time, like we saw today, Aaron Jones can have 20 points or more with AJ Dillon having a very involved game. So I don't think it's too different in comparison to what we saw out of Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones last year, right? So I'm not too concerned overall, but it's something to monitor. Charlie, what's going on, man? Got offered Mike Davis, AJ Brown, and Joku for Kareem and Hardman. I don't think that's that bad of a trade. How do you feel about Kareem injury? Uh, I don't think it's going to be that long term, and I think he's worth holding on to as well. So let me know what side you're on in that trade, Charlie. Um, but I think I'm leaning towards keeping Kareem Hunt. but it's not that bad of a deal overall. Jonah, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well tonight. What do you think of JT rest of the season? I love him, man. I think he's going to be great the rest of the season. He's going to have down games, of course, like every running back. But yeah, I believe in Jonathan Taylor all the way, man. It's a good question. Jerry, not the biggest fan of college football, but how do you determine what a rookie is worth drafting? Was Najee a big name coming in the season? Yes, he absolutely was. And generally, I get pretty scared to draft rookies in fantasy, but I didn't want to miss out on this. Just the way that the Steelers implement their RB1s, right? And yeah, he was a huge name. Definitely the top running back this past year. I always miss out on the breakout rookies because I don't know their names while I draft. Yeah, it's hard, but hey, man, that's what we're here for. So next year we'll get you covered, Jerry. Don't worry. All right, let's see here. Charlie, Kareem, I have Fournette and Dalvin with Madison. Wide receivers are Keenan and Antonio. Drafted Logan Thomas and Kittle for tight ends. I have Morley, Cox, and Arnold right now. Hopefully, Uzma and OJ off the waiver wire. So you're getting the Kareem side, I see. I don't hate that trade, but maybe you wait until we get the MRI results for Kareem Hunt, right? Just to make sure. But I don't think it's going to be that long term. Is the good news. But yeah, I think adding that value of Kareem Hunt would definitely help your roster. If you're starting Keenan and AB, then I think you're fine. Jonah, Kareem is going to be out for season. I think torn Achilles. Last we checked, it's just a calf injury. It's not as serious as it looks, or as it looked today. But we do want to wait for the MRI. Jerry, sad to see what happened to the Browns. Shake my head. They really fell apart. Yeah, it is. I mean, injury bug is everywhere this year, man. Charlie, people have been saying Achilles. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. I checked it at the beginning of the stream, and it was saying that it was just a calf injury. And some sources saying it's only going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. So it's hard to say right now. There's always going to be information floating around, and we'll see what happens. Max, chances of Josh Allen getting 43. It's definitely possible. Tennessee's secondary's trash, so it's definitely possible, man. Charlie, yeah, Nick Chubb had a calf injury, quote unquote. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with these running backs. I just wouldn't panic yet, right? Till we get some actual information. Kareem trade expires at 3 and might not get the trade again if he's hurt badly. Would you pull the trigger? Kareem in my flex is nice. It's tough to say. I feel like I would personally, but I mean it's not really fair, and to you, right, from that other owner, right? Um, he should let you have more time to decide, right? Let me see if I can pull anything up. Everything's from like 5 hours ago. Kareem Hunt did not hurt Achilles, according to Kevin Stefanski. That's what we put up at the beginning of the stream. Left the game with a calf injury. We'll know more after his MRI tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's good news, right? Mr. Fisher, thoughts on return of Jeff Wilson Jr. soon? Worth a shot. It's definitely worth a shot. Yeah, 100% worth a shot. I would at least consider it. I'm considering it myself, if that means anything to you. But yeah, I don't necessarily trust the Niners backfield. But I like Jeff Wilson Jr. I still like the way that these running backs are implemented overall. Can be difficult to manage on a week-to-week basis. But I definitely think he's worth a shot, to answer your question. All right, let's see here. Max, wasn't Kareem like arguably the best running back until the kicking thing, or am I remembering wrong? Yeah, essentially. Yeah. He was on the Chiefs too. Imagine if he was still on the Chiefs. But yeah, you're not wrong. He was definitely up there. He played crazy as a rookie too. Ryan, how long do you guys think Hunt is going to be out? It's tough to say. We've been talking about it back and forth tonight, and it's tough to say. But everything I'm reading is that it's a calf injury. It's not as bad as originally expected. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna have to wait until the MRI tomorrow. So I don't want anyone to go off of my word because I'm just looking at what sources are out there, and they could be wrong. So it's hard to say. Jerry asks the kicking thing. Do some research on it, Jerry. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Charlie, the guy also offered me Jonnu or Njoku for the tight end in that trade. Feel like Jonnu could be a good Hunter Henry handcuff, but I don't know if that outweighs Njoku's upside. Yeah, I don't think it hurts the trade necessarily. As long as you're not having to give anything else up for it, then I don't think it's a bad idea. Truly Seb, what's going on? Hope you're doing well tonight. I got offered Kelsey and DJ Moore for Adams and Waller. Do I accept? Ryan says, take it. I don't mind that trade. I mean, Waller hasn't been playing as good, but I don't mind the trade. You're getting Adams, right? So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good trade. I mean, before today, Adams was leading the league in receptions and receiving yards. So, yeah. Ryan, just my opinion, but Kelsey that much more consistent than Waller. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I'm thinking of there, right? You're downgrading that tight end, you're upgrading that receiver. So it's just kind of how you want to look at it, right? If you have other good tight ends, then maybe it's worth it. If you don't, then maybe it's not. It's hard to say. Bronson trades Zeke for James Robinson. I view them in pretty similar fashion, so I don't mind that either way. I think maybe I believe in the Cowboys offense more, but they are implementing Tony Pollard, so I kind of view them in similar fashion, to be honest. Max, is it time to really give up on Chenault? Not in full PPR. No, I think he's playing at his value in full PPR. And he had over 10 points today. If it's half PPR or standard, then maybe, sure. But yeah, in full PPR, he's playing just fine, in my opinion. Truly sub, I would get Kelsey and more, but I didn't accept yet. Okay, so opposite. You'd be upgrading a tight end, downgrading that receiver. So in terms of your roster, I mean, if you want to send me your roster, then I'm happy to kind of evaluate it. But if you think that it's going to help you overall to downgrade from Adams to Moore, but upgrade from Waller to Kelsey, then I don't think it's a bad trade, especially if your conviction lies with Travis Kelsey on the season, right? So let me know. Truly sub, hold up. I'm gonna type my team. Okay, word. We'll get into it, brother. Who is this quarterback on the Vikings? Just notice it's not Kirk Cousins. Oh, come on, Patty Surtain. Yeah, I feel like I'd rather have Kelsey than Waller, but I feel like I'd rather have Adams than Moore, of course. But I still believe in DJ Moore, hands down. But you just can't debate against Devontae, right? Not at all. Not at all. All right, guys, go ahead and keep smashing that like button. Let's try and get as many new viewers to the stream as possible. A little bit of a slower night for us, Catch Fam. Probably too many people dealing with injuries. Just don't want to talk about fantasy. Just want to forget about it. Last night we had a huge turnout, though. Last night was a great stream, guys. And Friday night was also a great stream. Steve and I had a blast Friday night. Jerry, Green Bay has some good matchups coming up. Thanks for the heads up, Jerry. Appreciate that. Max, who would you start every week, Noah Fant or Goodert? Honestly, I like both of them. I view them in pretty similar fashion. But I feel kind of inclined to lead towards Fant right now. Is that crazy? They're very, very similar players. Very, very similar outlooks as well. I mean, those are two tight ends that are good enough that you can start both of them. Truly said Josh Allen, Mixon, Hunt, Adams, Williams, Debo, Waller. So you'd end up with Moore and Mike Williams. That's really tough. Jerry says, I think you can afford the downgrade. I don't disagree. I mean, Moore, Williams, Debo, and you got Kelsey week to week. It might actually benefit your team. I don't hate the trade. I mean, it's such a big upgrade at tight end, which is crazy to say. 'Cause a few weeks ago, we'd be saying, yeah, take the trade or don't take the trade because you're not really getting that much value between Waller and Kelsey, right? In terms of differences. But at this point in time, it's definitely an upgrade as Waller has not been performing. So I think I agree with Jerry. I think you can afford the downgrade, but you still got to deal with caution. You're still losing Devonta Adams, right? Yeah, I mean Williams, Debo, Moore on a regular basis, and then you'd have Kelsey as well. It's not a bad outlook. I think you can consider it, but it looks more like you need a running back in terms of if you're going to trade and try and change up your team. So that might be something to consider too. Jerry, the only thing is Adams has good matchups coming up. Yeah. And I think if you're going to trade Adams and if those are your only two running backs, then instead of messing around with receivers and tight ends, it might make more sense to upgrade at running back, right? Max Fant got 24 points today. I didn't even realize. Holy S. Yeah, he balled out, man. He was one of the highlights of that entire game. Oh no, I'm gonna miss this extra point. Yikes. Yeah, Fant played quite well. I'm very excited for Jerry Jeudy to come back, though. We need some Jerry Jeudy back in our lives. But I don't think it'll hurt Fant too much. Let me know, truly, Seb, what you think about that analysis there and how you're feeling overall. Jerry Casey is also in must-win mentality, so Kelsey might be worth it. That's a good point too. I'm looking at your RBs, truly, Seb, and I'm a little concerned. And if you're giving up Adams, like it needs to be a extremely impactful move, which I don't think Kelsey is not, you know. But there's definitely things to think about there. If you don't have any running backs on the bench, that is. But yeah, good points by Jerry. Niners are projected for 10 wins, so Debo still has a lot of points to score. Niners' schedule is easy. Yeah, I like Debo on the rest of the season. Absolutely. It's definitely a tough trade to evaluate. Because when you're losing Adams, you're losing a whole lot. KB, I was 3-1 and traded Fant and CD for Kittle, Montgomery. Thoughts? I think I think I'd lean towards the Fant and CD side there. I mean, I love Montgomery, man. Um, it could work out down the stretch if you need help at running back, but that trade's a little concerning, to be honest, KB. I think I'd lean the Fant and CD side, as obviously you're receiving 2 injured players. Jerry, my main league is filled with a bunch of Broncos fan. It's funny seeing them get mad at every loss. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looked like the Broncos were potentially going to be good this year. And that's not really happening. Jerry, damn, that's a big gamble. Yeah. It could work out, KB, but it's a gamble to say the least. Especially the way CD Lamb played today and Fant played today. Did I end up hurting you today, KP? Yeah, especially after the 3-0 start in regards to the Broncos. Yeah, Jerry. 100%. Yeah, I mean, and you look at the teams they beat, yeah, they weren't necessarily keep cream of the crop, right? Jags, Jets, and Giants? Yeah. Yeah. So it was a good start, but I don't know how much more than that it was. Oh gosh, I'm trying to reset my lineup and I'm screwing it up. Can I fix it in time? We'll find out. Where is Jerry Judy? Oh gosh, we got to call play. Oh gosh, I don't even know what play it is called. Okay, good play. KB, what made you think about that trade? I'm curious. I mean, down the stretch, it could work out. But let me know what your thought process was and everything. It's not the worst trade, but after today, or do you feel worried about it at all? Ooh. Anyone else out there considering trades? Been part of a trade that maybe they don't feel great about? Jerry, I think if KB has the players to back up those injured players, it might pay off. Yeah, it certainly could. But I'd be interested to get KB's take here too. But yeah, I mean, I like Montgomery down the stretch when he's healthy. And Kittle could work out too. So we'll see what happens. I gotta get a yard here. Flag. Uh-oh. False start. JD McKissick off waivers, yes, but don't expect the same type of performance today every single week. But yeah, I do think he's worth rostering right now. The game script aided him, and the poor secondary of the Chiefs aided him as well. But just don't always expect today's type of game every single week. But wow, another missed field goal in this game, Madden. But um, yeah, I think he's worth picking up, Max, for sure. Oh gosh, turnover on. Okay. Truly Seb, he has Fournette and Robinson. Should I ask for them, one of them as well? I doubt he accepts though. Yeah, always make a stronger counter in the trade process, right? Uh, Either one, sure. I mean, you're giving up Devonte Adams, right? So why not? Jerry, I'm seriously considering selling Andrews for a reliable receiver after another bad game from Lockett. It's not looking good. Yeah, it definitely looks like there's more chemistry between Gino and DK than there is between Gino and Lockett. So as long as you feel good about the rest of your tight ends, Jerry, I think it's okay. But you better get a pretty penny for Mark Andrews, the way he's playing right now. I'm willing to take the gamble with the Seals Jones, and then Goddard will be my tight end one when he's back. Okay. If you can get the right price, man, I mean it's not worth plan at all. I just make sure that you get a pretty penny for Mark Andrews. He's coming off maybe two of his best performances on the year. I mean, only time will tell, but uh he's looking true to form after a little bit disappointing in the beginning of the season, right? My wide receiver had 5 points combined this week, says Jerry. Yeah, then I think maybe it's a good plan. I think you can rely on Goddard, man. I mean, when he's in there, he's a top 10 tight end. And Seals Jones should fill in nicely for a bit as well. So I don't hate the plan, Jerry. Let me know who you're thinking about targeting overall. Oh, what was that throw, Teddy? Wow. These rain games in Madden are like the absolute worst. Jerry, you think you can get CD Lamb? Am I too high on CD Lamb? I was before this week. Told you guys he was a good trade target. A lot of targets in that Cowboys offense, though. Upside on a weekly basis is 100% there, though. What player do you think I can get with Andrews? If it's a one-for-one trade, I mean, you're gonna want to look at tight end needy teams, of course, but you should be able to get a pretty good wide receiver one, Jerry. Absolutely. Let me take a look, within your league, and let me know what teams need a tight end potentially, and who you think you can target from those teams, right? Because I mean, it's possible you can trade Mark Andrews for a team that doesn't need a tight end, just wants another stud player. But you know your league better than I do, so um, it's hard to say. But I think you can get a pretty good player overall. Whoa! Look at that interception. It's like the coolest thing I've done all day. Jerry, let me check. Be back in a few minutes. I have looked into this, and there's a few teams that are lacking on tight end. Yeah, let me know, man. Of course. A lot of turnovers in our game of Madden here. Yeah, there's a lot of, if you play, sorry, I'm trying to think, collect my thoughts. If you play in a 12-man league or less right now, even 14-man leagues, they could argue too. There's been a lot of swift decisions that have come off of, injuries and bye weeks and things in the past week or so. And those will probably continue to happen this week with more injuries and bye weeks. So make sure you are keeping an eye on players being dropped, right? And players on IR for now being dropped. Logan Thomas, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, David Montgomery. I mean, some of those guys aren't going to be dropped, right? It depends on the size of your league, but uh, there's definitely players out there that are worth keeping an eye on overall, right? So make sure you guys are on top of things, right? And then other players that have been dropped due to poor performances, right? I mean, Corey Davis, Jalen Waddle, Kenyon Drake. There's guys out there that 2 weeks ago weren't available. So just keep your eyes peeled for what's happening within your league's activities. KB, okay, so I had too many wide receivers and needed a bit of help with RB, so I thought it was a safe trade. I also have Ertz as tight end. I mean, yeah, if you feel confident in your tight end and your receivers, you can start Ertz. You get Kittle down the stretch. If you're hurting at running back, you get Montgomery down the stretch. I mean, it's not the worst trade overall, man. As long as you have the right depth there, then I don't hate it. And it looks like you do. Truly Seb, so I'll be getting Robinson, Moore, and Kelsey for Waller and Adams. I also have Goddard. In that case, I think it's a fair trade. But if you're giving up Adams, you should get that third player in return, even with Kelsey in the mix, right? Or you should at least try, right? So I like that quite a bit, truly, Seb. Absolutely. Any new faces out there tuning into the stream, make sure you guys consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam. Everyone, make sure you go and smash that like button as well. A little bit of slower pace stream tonight, man. Looks like most people are taking their Sunday night off. So, but that's all good, man. Always a blast hanging out with you guys and talking fantasy and everything. So, but yeah, make sure you guys, if you're not subscribed, hit that sub button, become part of the Catch fam, and everyone keep smashing that like button as well. Like I said, guys, do apologize. A little bit lower energy tonight. Uh, looks like I caught a little bit of a cold or something, but that's what I get for standing outside in the cold all day. Oliver, man, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. PPR trade or PPR. Should I trade Rogers and Swift for Jones and Eckler? Let me know what the rest of your depth looks like, Oliver, at the quarterback position, because I don't think you can start Danny Dimes on a weekly basis. So kind of problem there is you're either looking to stream on a weekly basis after that, or hopefully you have another running or another quarterback on your team. I like the upgrade of Swift to Eckler. So in that sense, I think it's a good trade. But I'd like to see how you look at the quarterback position as well, because that is a little bit more concerning. You don't want to lose Rodgers necessarily if you're swapping him for Daniel Jones, right? All right, let's see here. I have Kamara as well. I mean, yeah, if you can get Eckler and Kamara together, then that's filthy. I mean, that's a great combo. But I would be a little bit concerned about the quarterback position overall. So let me know if you're getting any added depth there. Or if you have any added depth, I should say. Because I don't know if I feel great about Danny Dimes as your QB1. All right, looks like we should win our game of Madden, which I know is not the main reason anyone tuned in tonight, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign, guys. Oh, can we get a sack? Oh, I thought we were getting another pick. All right, let's see here. But yeah, I mean, Oliver getting Kamara as well as Eckler would be pretty scary. And I mean, I still like Swift on the season. So, I mean, obviously a bad game out of Eckler today, but I don't think that's going to be something that we're going to see on a weekly basis. I don't have any added depth as of now. Should I ask for Ridley and give up Keenan as well to make up for QB loss? Not necessarily. I don't view Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley in very different senses, right? They're pretty similar players to me. So I don't know how much that's going to change things. Let me know, Oliver, in terms of the waiver wire, who's available at the quarterback position. And that's probably going to be the most important thing for you. All right, we need to end this game of Madden. We just embarrassed the Vikings. Oh, we got the ball back. Let's try and throw a touchdown. Never mind. Let's throw a bomb to Jerry Jeudy. Let's go. Let's decimate the Vikings further. Yeah, Oliver, let me know what QBs are out there on the waiver wire. Jerry, other wide receivers were Riggs, Keenan Allen, and Terry, but those are the main players on their team, so I won't be able to get them on a one-to-one deal. I'm assuming that's Ruggs. Yikes. Huh, we might have to get creative here, Jerry. Oh gosh, another missed field goal. Oliver, Heineke, Burrow, Lance, Tua, Wentz, and Carr. So I think no matter what, you're getting a downgrade at the quarterback position, but you're getting an upgrade at the RB position. So is it worth it? Potentially, as long as Eckler gets back to that pace that we saw at the beginning of the season, then yes. And I think in the meantime, you can mess around with Tua when he's got good matchups. You can mess around with Wentz. You can mess around with Carr as well. So it's doable. I think everyone in the chat would say they'd rather have Eckler than DeAndre Swift. So yeah, it's tough. Tough decision because you're losing your QB1. But you can stream quarterbacks and still win fantasy. And it's not like Rodgers has been lights out this year. He's been good. So it's a tough decision, Oliver. But it's definitely not the worst trade. Jerry, can we go over my team on tomorrow's stream and come up with a trade? Yeah. Or on tomorrow's stream? Yeah. We can do that, Jerry. Of course. Oliver, man. All right. Thank you. Absolutely, man. Let me know if you have any other, questions, clarifications, or anything. I'm happy to help. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam, and let's keep smashing that like button, trying to get as many new viewers to the stream as possible, guys. You guys believe we hit over 300 subscribers? I still can't. It's crazy. This community is just awesome. All right, let's do one more game of Madden, and then we'll cap off the night. So get your fantasy Q&A and rolling, guys. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Jerry, you might have to get a little creative with that one. All right, let's see here. Double checking my lineups. Huh. Jerry, damn, I thought you were ending the stream. I can bring up my team right now. Oh, yeah, go ahead and throw it out here, brother. Max says get Burrow. Yeah, I think Burrow's a fine option as well, Oliver. Sorry, guys, if you're new here and you're watching me wipe my nose. A little bit of a sinus thing going on. So, anyways, we'll move along. Yeah, Jerry, shout out your team and we'll see what we can piece together. Gosh, we've thrown so many interceptions this year. We started this Madden franchise at the beginning of the season, which is crazy that I've played 3 seasons with you guys. Yeah, I think Burrow will be a fine streamer. Tua will be a fine streamer. Winston Carr will be fine streamers. So that should help you out, Oliver. Problem is, it's going to be hard to say if and when they're going to be available, right? And what matchups they'll be available in. Come on, Sutton. Let's go. Heineke, very disappointing today, though. Heineke definitely disappointing at the moment. I think he can bounce back, though. Trevor Lawrence, like we discussed earlier, I mean, a pretty good day overall. But definitely not as good of a day as he could have had. That was the last London game on the year, right? I don't think we have any other London games. Wow, Josh Jacobs just did crazy things. But I think that play's coming back. Yeah, hold on. Holding, I should say. Jerry, I'm dying in anticipation to see this team. Oh, it's here. Jackson, Henry, Henderson, Lockett, Rager, Andrews, Cox, Seals, Jones, and you got Collins, James Washington, and Gooder. Not the prettiest team. Hey, I've seen worse, man. You should see my 20-man league right now. Yeah, I mean, your strength is tight end, so it's not a bad plan, Jerry, to try and trade away Andrews, especially while he's high. But I would look to get 2 receivers out of the trade. And if you can't, then I say a receiver RB or a receiver tight end. You know, can you flex a tight end in your league, Jerry? That's another question I have for you. But I think you can get a pretty penny for Mark Andrews. And I think your main target's a wide receiver 1 of value, but you might be able to get a lower end guy, right? And hey, man, is it crazy to say you package Lockett and Andrews together and you get 2 wide receivers? It doesn't really hurt the rest of your team. And at that point, you could probably finally get rid of Jalen Rager. What do you think, Jerry? Package Lockett and Andrews together? Get a wide receiver 1 and a high end wide receiver 2? I think you could do it, Jerry. 2 low tier wide receivers. And yes, I have 2 flex spots for wide receivers tight end. So, yeah. Is it crazy to say shop Andrews and Lockett? I don't know. I don't think so. But if you don't think that's realistic, trade Andrews for a low end wide receiver 2 and a tight end. But the problem is Lockett was looking a little disappointing right now until Russell comes back. Because really, I mean, he is benefiting from that deep ball from Russell Wilson, which obviously isn't going to be there until what, week 9 at this point. So, Jerry, I like that idea. Would you say Lockett still is good value? Yeah, I think in a package deal with the guy like Mark Andrews, he does still present good value, especially with teams that are going to be looking at him moving down the stretch, right? So, yeah, I think in a package deal, you could still get some pretty good value adding Lockett to it. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you could get like a CD Lamb and Henry Ruggs, just someone of value, lower end wide receiver, then Chase Claypool. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, right? But I think you could end up with a pretty good trade overall, Jerry. Next, I've got Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, Chubb, Cup, Jamar, Fant, Devonta, Gooder, Jamal Williams, Hines, Kadarius, Bateman, and Gallup on IR. I want to trade for another solid RB. Any suggestions? That's a good question. Let's see here. And you got Chenault. So Jones and Chubb. Okay, so let's look at it this way. I would keep Cup and Jamar Chase all day long. Do not lose that value. I think you could package basically anyone on your bench. Oh gosh, this is a bad play in Madden. It's tough. I mean, the thing is, you could potentially give up Jamar or Cup, but I just don't want to see you do it. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're going to present some pretty crazy value, but uh, I just don't want to see you lose those guys, man. I really don't. You could consider shipping Nick Chubb while he's injured because you might get a pretty hefty value out of him, man. But if you're looking to keep Aaron Jones and Chubb and get a third RB, so down the stretch, you're in a good position at the RB position, then I don't think that's a bad idea either. So, I mean, to, I wouldn't trade Cup or Chase unless I got Henry or something. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't disagree with that point at all, man. So, I mean, I think Chenault coming off of a better game, it's a good time to put him down on the trading block, but you might have to throw in someone of value like Goddard as well. Maybe Jamal Williams as well. Although he's been a little bit down lately. Maybe Kadarius Toney. You just throw him on there, while he's hurt. Still kind of ride that wave of him having a good game while those other receivers were out, right? So that might be an option as well. But in terms of what type of running back you can get out of that, it's probably, unfortunately, going to be a bit of a lower end guy. Unfortunately. Let me know, Max, what running backs you have in mind. Because unfortunately, it's probably not going to be a top tier guy. Roku Mamba, what's going on? Sup, dude? Lamb went off tonight. You think Melvin Gordon is going to last a full season? Yeah. CD Lamb went crazy tonight. He had a beautiful game. I think he's going to have more games like that throughout the season. I want Melvin Gordon to last full season, but I also want our guy Javonte Williams to ball out, right? So I do think at some point Williams takes the backfield. I truly do. Thought it may have been this past week, and it wasn't. But I do think at some point it happens. Just not exactly sure when it's going to be. So if I'm looking at which one of those two running backs I want, I would say it's Williams. But I don't really know if it's going to matter as much in terms of Gordon potentially getting hurt or not. I just think Williams is the better back. And if Gordon does get injured, then Williams becomes the guy straight up, right? Uh, let's see. I traded for Williams and betting Gordon gets injured or Williams just plain takes over. Yeah, I drafted him in my primary league. And I do believe in him being the running back. I just don't know exactly when it's going to be. Every time I think it's going to happen, it doesn't happen. So it might be down the stretch, closer to playoff time. We'll see. We'll see. But hopefully it's soon for the both of us, man. I definitely think it'll happen. But like I said, it's hard to say when. Max, I want Gibson or Robinson, maybe Henderson. I like all those trade targets. Absolutely. But you might just have to give up a little bit more value, unfortunately. Would you consider putting Chubb on the trade block? Or do you think that that just doesn't help the situation at all? Are you planning on having three running backs down the stretch and that's why you want to trade for another running back? Or are you trying to just upgrade right now? Because I think you hold on to Aaron Jones since he's the healthy of the two. But if you're going to keep Chubb and Jones and try and get a running back like Robinson or Henderson. Now, Gibson might be another story, being that he's dealing with some injury and being that he's coming off a bad game, right? Maybe if the team needs receivers or tight ends enough, you could, you know, shop Goddard and a guy like Chenault. And maybe if they're desperate enough, right? Maybe to throw in Kadarius as well. But it's tough to say, man. But you might be able to pull it off. It just kind of it depends on the owner. Jerry, the guy that has been showing interest in Andrews has Moore, Hill, and Mike Williams. So as much as I want you to end up with Mike Williams or Hill, would you agree that Moore is the more, well, no pun intended, the more realistic trade option? Because I think he might be. Although I, of course, hate that. I mean, I like DJ Moore. We love DJ Moore here at the Catch, right? But uh, Hill and Williams are the better plays. Now, Williams, you might be able to target, Jerry. You might be able to. You think I can do a package for someone like Williams, take the gamble on wide receiver two? Yeah, I think you can. But you probably have to give up Lockett and Andrews. Don't you agree? I don't think you can afford to lose anyone else on your team. And honestly, I think that's a pretty fair trade, the way Mark Andrews has been playing. And the fact that you're still offering them a receiver, right? But we got to find you someone on the waivers at receiver, Jerry. Let me know who's out there on the waivers as well. But yeah, I mean, I think Lockett and Andrews for Mike Williams is a realistic trade, Jerry. Roku Mamba, by the way, thanks for coming out to tonight's stream, man. If you're new here, hope you consider subscribing down below. And please, man, if you got any other questions on the night, throw them my way as well. Let's see here. Max, I may try to see if the guy will do Gibson for Chenault and Hines. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. So why not? I mean, Gibson's banged up, coming off a bad game. You never know. You never know. Send the trade, and it could happen, Max. It could happen. Oh no, I accidentally took the corner. Oh, he didn't catch the ball in bounds. Good old Henry Ruggs. Yeah, Jerry, let me know who's hanging out there on the waiver wire at receiver. I feel like there might be better options than your guy Jalen Rager. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you taken care of, Jerry. Oh wow, I think Darren Waller is wide open on that play. Oh well, good for us. Man, if you can get Gibson for Chenault and Hines, though, Max, I think that's a steal. Which is probably pretty obvious to you, but yeah, I think it's a steal. Oh no, we gotta get this playoff. I think I'm gonna get it off. Am I gonna get it off? Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Cole Pierce, would you trade Cordero Pounder with cheese and AJ Brown for Antonio Brown? I would try to get another piece of value out of that. I mean, the way Cordero Patterson's been playing, like you should be able to get another player out of that trade. So I will counter. And I mean, AJ Brown, don't get me wrong, he's been disappointing on the season, but he can still be a wide receiver one at some point this year. So uh, I don't hate the idea of trading for Antonio Brown, but Cole, I think you can get a little bit more out of that trade than just Antonio Brown. And I think fairly so. I think it's a better trade for the opposite side, as good as AB's been playing. So, yeah, I think you should try and get more. Cole, as of right now, the trade is CPAT and AJ for AB and Colts D. Uh, I would still try and get another skill position guy. But I mean, the Colts defense got plenty of good matchups coming up, so it's not the worst idea necessarily. Uh, Jerry, I'm going to try and drop Rager for either Peoples Jones or Robinson. Maybe Watkins, Vance Jefferson is up there, but that's a risk. Yeah, I feel like right now I like Peoples Jones the most, Jerry. Cole, would you do Mike Evans and Woods instead of AB? If you need help at receiver, yes. Yes. But could you get Woods and AB? That would be ideal, in my opinion. And once again, I think you win the trade, but it's still pretty fair overall. Because AJ Brown at any point can take off. All right, let's see if I can't get a first down in Madden and get out of bounds. No, apparently not. Let's see here. MK, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well tonight. Thanks for coming out to the catch. Hey, I'm new to this stream. I have Allen and Bill's defense down 20. I hope I cover it. If you don't have anyone against you, then I think you're good, man. Yeah, I'd feel pretty good about that, MK. Yeah, if so, you're down 20. You've got Allen and Bill's defense. Yeah, I just want to make sure I read that right. Yeah, I think you're good, man. Quite honestly. I mean, Josh Allen alone should be able to help you out there. So I think you're good. If you are new to the stream, consider subscribing down below. Become part of the Catch fam tonight, MK. But if not, man, I do appreciate you coming out, letting us know how your fantasy matchup is going, and just hanging out for a bit. Let me know if you got any other fantasy questions on the night. Cole Pierce, yeah, I get Woods and Evans from weak at receiver with Moore, Ruggs, and Jones Jr. Huh. I don't hate the trade, but if you could get AB and Robert Woods, then I think it is a really good trade. If you get Evans and Robert Woods, I still think it's a good trade. As long as your running backs are solid, right? Because I mean, Cordero Patterson is still a baller, man. But yeah, you definitely need upgraded receiver. I mean, Jones Jr. had a big day, so don't sell too much, right? Ruggs had a big day too. So yeah, it's not bad to look for those upgrades, but don't sell too much because those guys still have some value. And Patterson is quite good right now. We still haven't seen that production come to a halt, so don't lose faith there either. Jerry almost had a crazy comeback, but Taylor decided to have a good game. Yeah, just too good of a matchup for Taylor, man. I mean, no one on there on the Texans to uh, guard him or tackle him or whatever, right? Jerry, I wish I had those receivers. Oh, Jerry, what are we gonna do with you, bro? MK, I subbed up. My opponent has played everybody. All right, let's go, MK. Yeah, you got the dub in the books, bro. 100%. Appreciate that support, by the way. Congrats on becoming part of the Catch fam. Look, Bobby Wagner just forced a fumble for you in Madden, man. That's how we do it here. But you guys are seeing us probably second or two behind what's happening. Anyways, MK, appreciate that support, brother. Yeah, I think you're definitely going to win, MK. I'm down about 40 points against one of our Catch fam members, Spencer, and I've got Josh Allen and Emmanuel Sanders. So I'm hoping for a good game out of Allen too. And I mean, Tennessee's secondary is so bad that I definitely think that we'll both. I mean, you'll survive. I might not survive, but you'll definitely survive, man. Roku Mamba, no problem, man. Thanks for the advice and show. AJ Brown's going to blow up. I hope. Don't expect Raiders to win today with everything going on. Oh, didn't expect Raiders. Yeah. They had a great game. Speaking of that, we're playing the Raiders, and I thought they took. I mean, I just did the upgrade, and I thought part of it was they were taking John Gruden out of the game, but apparently that hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it will, though. Cole, AB and Robert Woods, I'd have to trade CPAT, AJ, and Daryl Williams. I got Kamara, Swift, and Hendo. Dude, I actually don't mind that trade. If you've got Kamara, Swift, and Henderson. I mean, I love Cordero Patterson. I hate to see you lose him. But I don't know how long-term Daryl Williams is going to help. And if you're hurting at receiver, man, those are two receivers you can plug and play on a consistent basis for the rest of the season. So I don't hate that trade, Cole. Let me know where your mind's at, though. We'll try and get it figured out, man. Do you think you're giving up too much? I mean, you could always ask, whomever you're trading with, like, can we make this just a straight up deal, right? 3 for 3, and try and get the player or a player who he has the least value in. And you never know what'll happen there. I mean, maybe they're better than waiver wire pickups at the moment. You would know better than me, but you can always try that too. Wow, we are just decimating teams in Madden tonight. LeBron's brain, what's up, brother? Always good to have you here. I'm 4-2 now. Do I panic about having a weakish team until McCaffrey comes back in? I wouldn't panic, but if the price is right for McCaffrey, guys, I mean, there's so many injuries, bye weeks, so many things mounting up so quickly on this fantasy season that I don't want to ever advise against trading a guy like CMC, even if he's unhealthy. But if the price is right with how many things we're dealing with right now, then it might be worth it, right? Potentially. Let me know where your brain's at. Oh, no pun intended. Let me know where your brain's at, LeBron's brain. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I just hate the idea of potentially losing a guy like CMC. I mean, I'm still holding on to him in my primary league, right? And I got David Montgomery, right? And I drafted Gus Edwards, right? Uh, and I got James Robinson this coming week on bye week, right? So I mean, I'm like, I feel you, man. I definitely feel you. But I'm still not trading him. Lucius, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Looking at next week, QB has a bye. I see Winston and Matt Ryan available. Who to stream in a standard league? I like Matt Ryan versus Miami quite a bit. I like Tua Tagovailoa in that same game versus Atlanta quite a bit. Don't expect a lot of defense to be going on in that game. So, yeah, to answer your question, I like both of those guys. And with how inconsistent Jameis Winston's been on the season, I think I like both of those guys more than Jameis Winston to answer your question, man. Max says Winston's the GOAT, though, so maybe you should go with Winston. Oh, come on, Judy. Cole Pierce, I don't hate it either. Also, I don't love it, but I'm weak at receiver, so that doesn't matter. I appreciate your advice. He has Khalil and Damian Williams. Which one should I ask for? Khalil. Yeah, Khalil. If you can get Khalil, man, then that is a hell of a deal. And a deal I think you should take. I mean, don't get me wrong. When Montgomery comes back, things are going to change. But Khalil is the back to have right now. And I think when Montgomery does come back, that Khalil's still going to see some work as well. So I think that would make it a very good trade overall, Cole. But if you don't love the trade, don't let me be the deciding factor for you. But I think you could piece together a pretty nice trade there. Bars in the tuck. What's going on, man? It's good to see you as always. Hope you're doing fantastic tonight. Will Fuller worth an IR stash, full PPR? I don't quite know, man. I don't quite know. If you don't have anyone on IR, then of course. Um, if there's no one else out there, I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. might be floating around, man. He might be a guy you could take a look at, although he should be coming off IR in November. But if you don't have anyone on IR, then of course, yeah. I just don't know how I feel about this outlook on the season for Will Fuller. Lucius, thanks for the advice. Since we're talking about the Falcons, what's your thought on Ridley? Thanks again. Of course. Um, I think he'll be fine on the season. I know he's been pretty disappointing overall, but I do look for Ridley to turn it around, man. I still believe in Calvin Ridley on the season. So if you have to, if you own him, you don't feel great. You can consider a trade, but I still think you shouldn't sell him for anything too little, right? I still think he is a true wide receiver one. Cole, bet I'll let you know if he accepts. Yeah, let me know, man, because I think that'd be a really good trade for you. Jerry, I wish I would have talked to you before trading for Lockett. He's been nothing but a headache for me since getting. Yeah, he is. A lot of these Seahawks players are complete headaches right now. Jerry, I wish you would have talked to me too, my guy. But the good news is you're part of the catch fan moving forward. So bars in the tuck. My league has 3 IR spots: CH, Pirine, and Bateman. Disactivated Bateman. I could stash Tariq Cohen, but he may not come back at all. Yeah, I would stash Will Fuller over Tariq Cohen, man. I think that's a far better stash. I don't think we're going to see Cohen play this year. LeBron's brain. Well, the CD part of my trade turned out great. There we go. There we go. Yeah, LeBron's are for you, LeBron's brain. I mean, CD's been fantastic, and I think he's going to continue to be. I know he's had some down weeks and everything, but I think we're going to see more weeks like this past weekend. Jerry, my second league is a 3 kicker. What? I've never seen that before, but that is awesome. Shout out to you, Jerry. Ooh, what was that play? Bars and then Tuck, does Ertz to Arizona make him a weekly tight end start? I think so. We want to see one full game is my initial thought out of Ertz in Arizona. But he was arguably a must start, maybe not a must start, but a starter even before being traded at this point in the season, the way he's playing with the Eagles. So, to answer your question, my belief is that he will be a starter for Arizona from a fantasy perspective as well. So, yeah, I do think that's probably what we're going to be looking at, man. Justin Young, would you trade away Henderson, Hunt, AB for Mixon, CMC, and full PPR? So you're losing Henderson, Hunt, and AB, gaining Mixon and CMC. I have Eckler, Henderson, Gibson, Hunt, Javante, and Chuba as my RBs, and Jefferson, Deontay, AB, and Higgins as my wide receivers. To be honest, I I don't think I would. Uh Henderson's upcoming matchups are fantastic. AB's been balling out. I mean, obviously, that's a tough decision. That's a tough one, man. You got Eckler to lead the way. You got Hendy in there as well. You can plug Mixon in right away and CMC is stashed for down the stretch. I hate to see you lose AB though, and you're losing Henderson. I'm sorry. I don't think I'd do the trade. I I like the immediate depth that you have, man. Is that crazy? I mean, Mixon's been a little banged up. He looked fine today. I mean, I guess you could argue Henderson's been a little banged up too, but I don't think I'd take the trade. Am I crazy for that? LeBron's brain, what are some players you would consider for a CMC trade? I mean, if someone was offering me what Justin's getting or giving away, then I'd take it. I think it's a win for the other team. I think you got to get 1 to 2 solid starting running backs and or 1 to 2 solid starting wide receivers, and then potentially a low end guy in there as well at either position. You know, that's uh that's really tough, man. Justin, where's your head at with the trade? Let me know. Because that's a very tough decision. I don't know. Yeah. I can go back and forth on that one, man. I mean, you think about it this way, you're plugging in. I hate to see you lose Henderson, though, man. He's got so many good matchups coming up. So you'd be starting Eckler, and then you'd be starting Mixon, but you're losing Hunt, right? Then your starting receivers would now be Jefferson, Deontay, and Higgins. When CMC is healthy, I don't know, man. You've got really good depth right now. And Mixon's been banged up, right? I mean, Hunt's banged up, Henderson's banged up. But I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm crazy about the trade. Justin, I offered him Gibson, Hunt, and AB. He said no. Yeah, he's trying to get our guy D10s out of you, man. He's trying to get Henderson for sure. Um, and that's for a reason. He's got fantastic matchups and he's balling out, man. He's been extremely consistent on the year. So it makes sense. But what if Hunt is a season ending? I don't think Hunt is dealing with a season ending injury. Everything that came out after the game is that it's not that as serious as it looked. So I don't know if I'd make that part of the equation. Of course, I could be wrong. I mean, it's just going off of sources I've seen, but uh, it's a really tough decision. But I think personally, I don't think I'd do it. And if anything, as valuable as CMC has been, I mean, Hunt's been a top 5 running back. Henderson's been a top 10 running back. If probably would be closer to top 5 if he didn't miss that one game. And AB's playing out of his mind. So while you're receiving Christian McCaffrey and Joe Mixon's been great this year, I think you should be able to rebuttal and get one more player out of that at the receiver position at least, right? I don't think that's too crazy, even with CMC being CMC, right? So, yeah, it's a tough decision. Bars and then Tuck, does Marlon Mack get traded? I think he will. Yeah, I think he will. Where will he go? I don't know. But there's too many teams that are having problems with injured running backs that I do think he will get traded. And plenty of teams have apparently shown interest in the trade as well. So yeah, I think he'll get traded. I don't know where to. Probably closer to the actual trade deadline, which is coming up. Let's see here. Justin Young, should I wait for the Hunt? Excuse me. Should I wait for Hunt's news then? Yeah. And honestly, man, like it's only fair that you're able to wait until you know Kareem Hunt's status before making the trade. So, uh, I mean that's what I would say, man. It's just not fair that you're making a trade and you don't know the status of one of your players, right? Ian, how do you feel about CD? Was he going to be a top 10 receiver in fantasy? I think so. I mean, me and my co-host Steven went into the season thinking that he would be. And yeah, I still believe that he will be, quite honestly. Yeah. Just a lot of targets in that offense, and they don't have to force the ball to CD every single game, right? So I think we've seen some down games, but just looking at that offense, right? So many ways that the Cowboys can get it done. And some weeks they're going to have to rely on CD Lamb. And some weeks they might not have to because they got other guys, right? I mean, both tight ends on this team look good. Murray Cooper's there, Zeke's there, Pollard's there. Said Wilson, guys. Said Wilson, one of my deep sleepers. In full PPR deeper leagues, at least. And anyways, point being, Cowboys got a lot of ways to do it. They don't always have to rely on CD Lamb. But yeah, I certainly think he could be a top 10 receiver on the year. Absolutely. Justin Young, the thing is, one of my friends told me that he's going to offer me Dalvin Cook for CMC if I accept the deal. The owner of CMC already has Mike Evans. That's why I told him to throw in Evans since he's going to get AB. But he said if he throws in Evans, he said the trade value got to be higher than Hendo, Hutt, and AB. Man, here's the thing. There is so much value in Kareem Hunt, Daryl Henderson, and Antonio Brown right now. Like, we're not going off pre-draft rankings anymore where Joe Mixon and CMC are top 10 picks and those other guys are scattered past the first round. We're in the middle of the season and those guys are playing at a much higher levels. So I just wouldn't give up too much value to where it's hurting your team, man. Cole Pierce, he declined it. Should I do AJ and Patterson for AB and Colts? I can try and package AB with A-Rob for Damian Williams, but I don't really want either of them. If I ask for anyone else, he'll decline. Yeah, I don't want you to end up with Allen Robinson or Damian Williams either. I don't see a lot of value in trading for them at all. It's a tough call, man. It really is. Um, Man, it's just hard to say because we could see AJ Brown start to turn up. And I mean, AB is playing fine right now. But do you need a defense that bad? I guess is my next question. I'm going back and forth on that one, Cole. Man, any new viewers out there, go ahead and consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam tonight, and let's keep smashing that like button, Catch fam. Let's try and get as many new viewers to the stream as possible. Let's see here. Max, I hope Gallup comes back next week, but I can't find anything on his injury. I think he is coming back next week, if I'm not mistaken. And another guy for the Cowboys to get it done with, right? Jimmy, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. I just traded Najee and Lockett and got Henderson and Diggs. What are your thoughts? Do you think I won? Yeah. I mean, I love Najee. I think he's going to potentially have a better season, but I love Henderson too. And it's an upgrade at the receiver position, hands down. So I definitely think he won, Jimmy. Absolutely. Justin Young, AJB will be in his limited snap count until week 10. Yeah, it's true. But down the stretch, he could still be a wide receiver one, you know? It's just these are tough trades, guys. They really are. I mean, I hate to not be helpful, but they're big decisions to make. And I don't want to see them go uh in a bad direction for you guys, is all. LeBron's brain, what do you think about CMC Goddard for Kelsey and DJ Moore? It's their bye next week. Um uh, but yeah, I don't think that's an unfair trade. I mean, because you're getting Kelsey, you're getting the best player at his respective position. So as long as you feel good about your RB depth and you understand that you're losing Christian McCaffrey, who, when healthy, is probably going to be a player that gets you 20 points a week. I don't hate it, but it's not. I'm not crazy about it. Just because I hate to see you lose Christian McCaffrey. I mean, you're gaining Kelsey, and DJ Moore is a great addition as well. And Goddard, you're not probably losing too much, right? As long as your tight ends look okay. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Cole, let's see here. I can try and do AJ, CPAT, and Daryl Williams for AB and Woods. Would that be a W in your eyes? By the way, I'm not weak at D. I got Cowboys and Panthers. He's just offering the D in the trade to interest me. So you're losing AJ Brown and Daryl Williams. I don't think that hurts you too much. I think it's a better trade that way. I do. I mean, you should be able to get more than just Antonio Brown out of that trade. Yeah. And I mean, your running backs are pretty stacked. So I think it's better off that way. Max, anyone know why AJ is limited snap count? Is he injured? Yeah, he is injured. And they're trying to work him back in slowly. Justin Young. So he said he can only only offer me Laviscus or Myers. So it'd be something like Hunt, Henderson, AB for CMC, Mixon, and Myers. Still no. I think that's a better trade. Yeah, I think that's a better trade for you. Myers has been wildly inconsistent, but I do think that he is still arguably the wide receiver one for the Patriots. So it makes it better. So you're losing Hunt and Henderson. Hunt's potentially injured, and you're losing AB. You're gaining Christian McCaffrey, who, when healthy, arguably the best player in fantasy football, right? And then you're gaining Mixon, who you can plug in automatically. For Kareem Hunt or Henderson. It's a better trade. It's definitely a better trade. Yeah. It's a better trade that way. Is that helpful? You guys are giving me tough trades tonight, which is okay. But these are trades that are thought provoking. Would you trade away CMC for Cook straight up? I want to say yes because it looks like Dalvin Cook is back and fully healthy. He's about as injury prone as Christian McCaffrey, and that value is pretty much right on par, right? So I think I would. I think I would. Jerry, good to see the chat being active again, of course. Yeah, I was planning on getting off a little bit earlier than usual, but I just kind of been toughing it out. So I do appreciate, like I mentioned earlier, feeling a little bit under the weather. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around and getting the chat going and everything as well, man. Any new viewers out there, go ahead and consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fan. But if not, appreciate you guys coming out here and chilling for the night. And just keep smashing that like button, man. Try and get as many new viewers to the stream as possible tonight. Do you still believe in CMC? Absolutely. I mean, I still own him in my primary league, right? And I'm not getting rid of him. I'm just going to let him sit there. And I think when he's healthy, he'll be 100% fine and the Christian McCaffrey that we're used to. And the Christian McCaffrey saw at the beginning of the season, for that matter. What RB could I get for Devonta Smith straight up? Maybe like a Javonte Williams or AJ Dillon, Tony Pollard. And that team would have to be hurting at the receiver position. But unfortunately, it's probably going to be a handcuff situation type running back. Maybe Madison. Just someone who offers value, right? Cool. So with Kamara, Swift, Anderson at RB, Moore, Ruggs, and Jones at receiver, you would trade CPAT, AJ, and Daryl Williams for AB and Woods. Yeah. So you've got Kamara, Swift, and Henderson. You're starting those three guys every week. Now you can start Moore, Antonio Brown, and Woods every week as well. I mean, I still think Marvin Jones is a good option. I mean, the only guy I'm really hating to see you lose is Cordero Patterson, right? But the way these injuries are going this season, there's so many things in terms of what you can do at the running back position right now that I don't think it necessarily hurts. Max, I feel like CMC is just going to get hurt again. He might. I mean, it's can we really deny it? Jerry, I think he's a sell high option. I might have to sell him high. Is that crazy? Jack Keaton, what's going on, brother? Yo, I have a 26 win percentage this week. I need 36 from Diggs and Bills defense. What do you think? It could happen. I mean, this secondary is poor enough, this Titan secondary, that it could happen with Stephon Diggs just alone, but I wouldn't put your money on it, right? And the Bills defense probably will have a good night, but I think the Titans will hang in there a bit. But yeah, Jack, it could definitely happen. 100%. Jerry, God tier CMC is coming back next season. If I'm wrong, I'll send you money for a brisket bowl from Chipotle. Fair enough. I would love money for a brisket bowl from Chipotle right now. LeBron's brain, CMC for Williams and Swift. Jerry's asking if it's Mike Williams. I don't think it's the worst trade. It's a pretty fair trade. But you could always counter and try and get more. LeBron's brain, yeah, it's not going to happen. Just brainstorming. Fair enough. Yeah, it could be worse. Am I crazy to try and trade Christian McCaffrey? In a league where I've got Montgomery hurt, Robinson on bye week, and my next running backs are Khalil Herbert and Javonte Williams. I'm hurting at the receiver position. John, if you sell CMC, who would you look at? I don't know. I don't know if anyone in my league would trade for him. Probably. Like, I just want to get a killer deal. Like, I'd want similar to like Williams and Swift, like just a wide receiver one and an RB one I can play right away, at the least, if not more. If not more. But then I think of down the stretch how well CMC might potentially play, right? And it makes me really second guess it. The bronze brain, Herbert had himself a night. Yeah, a night to forget. Oh, Khalil Herbert. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Justin Herbert. I'm sorry. Yeah, Herbert had a great game. I definitely was high on him this week, and he showed up. And Green Bay is pretty good defensively, so hopefully against better or worse teams, he can have better days. He played quite well though. Jerry, not to forget that was a good one. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Justin Herbert. I'm sorry, LeBron's brain. Cole Pierce. What about Cordell Patterson, AJ, Marvin Jones for AB and Woods? I feel like this guy's trying to play you, bro. I really do. You know, you shouldn't have to. I mean, Cordell Patterson is a top 5 running back. I mean, he's probably lower now because of the bye week, but and Marvin Jones is coming off his best game of the season. And AJ Brown, although injured and on a snap count, is still the wide receiver one for the Titans when healthy. And I love you gaining that combination of AB and Woods, but I just feel like maybe this other owner is getting a little bit too much out of you because he knows that you really want to upgrade at the receiver position. Um, so yeah, it's tough to say. And Jerry, I think Cole is receiving AB and Woods, just so you know, my guy. Max, Josh Jacobs not doing too great. Might target him. He's playing okay. He's playing pretty good. I mean, maybe not out of his mind, but in the past 2 weeks, he's got a touchdown each game. The week before that, he played okay too. He's had at least 10 points every game this year. So I think you should target him, but you might have to give up a pretty good penny for him. Jerry, should I keep Jones or trade him away? Ah, probably or keep him. I feel like you need him right now, so probably keep him. Uh, yeah, Jerry, I think you should hold on to Marvin Jones. Chosen Rose is Gibson injured? Kind of. Probably going to have to evaluate throughout the week. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Let's see if we can't get an official word on Gibson, see if we got any updates. Let's see here. I got to snap the ball in Madden. Hold on. Ooh, bad play, bad play. Okay, we're good. Let's see. Injured his captor in Sunday's game against the Chiefs. Gibson was examined for a shin injury early in the contest, but was able to turn to action. So he still got the shin injury, and he goes out with the calf injury. Um, so we're going to have to really monitor it this week, guys. They get Green Bay next week, which is a pretty decent matchup. Jerry, I have a few questions about my third week. Okay. We are probably winding down the stream over the next 10 minutes, guys. So make sure you get out any of your final fantasy Q&A on the night over the next 10 minutes as we look to wind down for the night and prepare for a Monday. We got a good football game tomorrow, guys. Going to be have a lot of impacts on a lot of our rosters with the Bills playing and the Titans as well. And got to get my waiver wire video out to you guys tomorrow. Got to do some quarterback streaming options for you guys and start to look into some sleepers on the week as well. You think Fournette continues having these big games? Yes, but he's not going to have the ceiling that we saw against the Eagles every week, right? I mean, even the past couple games, he's put up 10+ points. He's been good on the season, but I mean, at least in full PPR. So yes, but I don't know if the ceiling's as high as 30 points every week. That's for sure. Especially with how much talent's on that roster for the Buccaneers. So I do, but I don't think that the ceiling is crazy high every week like it was against the Eagles. But he's definitely a player worth starting every week right now. Just too much talent on the Buccaneers to say that Fournette can have 30 points a game, you know? But this past week was very promising for Fournette owners. Cole Pierce, if I did it, my squad would be Kyler, Kamara, Swift, Henderson, AB, Moore, Woods, Ruggs, Marvin Jones, and Kelsey in a 10-team PPR league. Plus, I can make my name Morning Woods. uh, yeah, I just wouldn't give up Marvin Jones as well. If he can get, if I think this Cordero Patterson and AJ Brown for AB and Woods is a fair trade. I wouldn't let that owner make you add another player to that trade. And I think your squad would look pretty good that way as well. LeBron's brain. So in a world I could get Williams and Swift for CMC, would you take that? Yeah. Yeah. If you need the help right now, then yes, I would. I think that's a fair trade, LeBron. Oh no, Jordan loves cooking on me. Jerry, see you guys next time. Good night. All right, Jerry. Peace out, brother. Always good to have you here, my guy. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for coming through, Jerry. We will see you tomorrow. So thanks for coming out and showing support as always, my guy. Oh, I thought we were gonna get an interception. So yeah, guys, we'll probably wind down the stream at halftime of this game. So if you guys have any final questions, go ahead and get it out before we wind down. But I do appreciate everyone coming out tonight, showing some support, hanging out for a bit, man. Like I said, I do apologize being a little under the weather tonight. Not as high energy as usual, but I do appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out, throwing me your fantasy Q&A. You guys had some good questions tonight. I mean, Catch Fam is killing it. It's growing day by day, man. This community is just unbelievable, getting bigger and bigger every single day. So I do really appreciate you guys, and the support means more than you guys know. I mean, it truly, truly does. So uh, hopefully everyone's at a good point in their fantasy season right now. I know it's been a tough day for a lot of fantasy owners. A lot of bye weeks coming up, right? A lot of injuries. Today was another bad day. I mean, injuries this year have been uh, just god awful, right? just completely awful. So hopefully everyone feels like they're at a good point. But I appreciate you guys continuing to come out to the streams and watching the channel and putting your faith in the Catch fan, man. It really does mean a lot. So we'll kind of start to wind down here as I'm just starting to beat up on the Packers and Madden. But yeah, we will be back on. We should have our waiver wire video out tomorrow. I mean, we will, but I just don't know at what point. But we'll definitely have it out as I missed the extra point in Madden. But we'll have the waiver wire video out tomorrow for you guys. So stay tuned and stay peeled for that video. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss the video or any of our live streams in general, as well as any of our videos in general. And yeah, just stay tuned for tomorrow, guys. We'll get the waiver wire video out and we'll be streaming for the Monday Night Football Hangout as well. So make sure you guys get tuned in for that. And with that, I got nothing else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching and for listening. And remember, it's out here on the Catch. And peace.